Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Here we are. It is a Wednesday on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Lot to get to today. G. Bush is here as always. We've got the tainted water. The tainted water is back.
Is it really that
It's
bad?
tainted.
Hold on, let me see.
They're trying to kill us again.
I brought mine from home.
Wait a minute, let me see.
That's smart. I should have brought mine
Bull,
from home, too.
Bull overreacts.
Tyvus is here
so
too.
Let me see.
I'm telling you, Jason agreed with me yesterday. Wait for the aftertaste.
It tastes funny.
It tastes funny. I told you. This happened a couple of months ago, and it tastes
funny.
They have tainted the water. Tyvus is with me.
I can confirm it does not taste like typical water.
Right,
but
it tastes
it's still
weird.
water.
Why does it taste like
Bottled
the
water
geyser
tastes weird
bottle.
like that.
I don't know. It should be all the same.
It's one of those things that it tastes so funny that I can't help but to keep sipping it because it's that crazy.
See, it's crazy. I'm not sipping it.
That could be pause-worthy, but I'm going to let that
I'm talking about the water.
Early
Look
guy.
at, boy, you be sharking for it, don't you?
He is.
You can't say nothing around
No,
here.
nothing
Bull
at
now
all.
text us pause. We have to address this, Bull.
What's
You
that?
can't send us a video then text us pause.
I mean,
Because that's a setup. That's a reverse pickpocket move.
It was very pause
Stephen A.
worthy.
Smith
Yeah,
one.
it was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
It was bad. Whew.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm having a hard time hearing you today, but here we go. I'll turn you up there. Anyway, we got some AFC North predictions. We're going to start with Francona and the news with him yesterday. By the way, I got to take people behind the scenes. I like to do this every once in a while. Tyvus and I were discussing this earlier. So right behind our studio, there's the gym, the WKYC gym. Not that many people. It's pretty much Jay and Austin Love and Mike Lucas that use it.
And Herbie.
And Herbie.
I've used it the last 2 days.
You've been using it.
And Earl and Aunt use it.
There's a couple of young ladies that go in there. They
There's
do
not
the
that many people that
treadmill.
use it. At least when we're here. I don't know what they use it all the time.
There's a few. I would say about 15.
You
think it's that many?
About 15.
I have not seen
Give or
15.
take. Give or
All
take.
right, you spend more time there than I do, so I'll give you that.
What gave it away,
next
boy?
to the gym, shut up, Ty. Next to the gym, there's a bathroom. It's like a half bathroom, half locker room.
Right.
Now, first of all, it's always gross in there. There's always shit laying around. There's always this stuff. But there's been, I don't know, and I haven't brought this up before, but there's been a pair of like dirty baseball pants and socks and ratty-looking shoes that have been sitting in there for, what would you say, guys? A month?
No.
2 months?
No.
3 months?
Them joints been there for 6 to 8
They
months.
look like
That long?
6 to 8.
to
6
give
8.
y'all
Yeah, 6
what
to
it
8
looks
months.
like.
Yeah.
It looks like
We should have taken a picture of it.
The shoes that you use to cut the grass in,
Yeah.
like that's what them is right
And
there.
So
for sure.
here's what I don't understand. Somebody that works for WKYC was wearing that stuff, took it off, and just left it there. So unless that person got fired the next day, how is that person not saying, oh, maybe I should take this disgusting stuff home with me?
That means they're rocking it still.
That is
You
probably
think they're
what
wearing that stuff? Is there somebody, Mike, you think there's somebody wearing that stuff every day?
No, so the people who are there every day, like Herbie and Jay, there's
Yeah.
also laundry machines right next to the bathroom.
Right.
And Herbie washes his stuff every day. Austin wears the same Penny Hardaway throwback Orlando
right.
Magic
Yeah.
jersey every
Yup.
day,
He sure
which
does.
he washes at that washing and drying machine after he works out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
My guess is it's someone who used to work here that has left it, and everyone has the same thoughts we have, which is
First of
that's
all,
disgusting.
Gross.
The shoes is so bad that I don't see Jay or Austin or nobody
No,
wear
no.
that ain't their style.
It is, but what, the pants are like baseball pants, right?
So you said Jay
They're not
Crawford
jeans,
might
I'll tell
be
you that.
Hey, you know.
Jay Crawford
wouldn't
might
leave
be a
his- Jay doesn't-
suspect.
Jay goes from home to baseball. He doesn't come here.
See, maybe y'all ain't got fired before. When they fire you in corporate America,
Yeah.
you don't even know you
You
get
out.
fired.
I've been fired.
What we used to do
I've
is
been cut.
No, we used to have we used to have the discussion with the person, right?
Yeah.
Me and another person. Then we have another person. Hey man, clean that desk out.
Yeah.
Get all the pictures. All
But
the
wouldn't somebody have said, hey, I left my dirty
That's
drawers
how
No, No. By the time you get out of that meeting, which
Yeah.
is 5 to 10 minutes, and that drawer is cleaned out or whatever's there,
Yeah, you're shell shocked.
security is right next to you. Like, yeah, we'll escort you
They
out.
do y'all like that? It ain't like that in the NFL. You know,
No.
they cut you, right?
Then they pretend they're sorry.
Yeah, they come up with all these lousy
yeah.
excuses,
Yeah.
and so like
Stay in shape, keep grinding.
I've been on this opposite end 10 times, so I can tell you exactly how it goes. The first time you distraught, you're like, oh my God, my whole life is upside down. When you get to number 10, I was joking about it. I was like, I know you seen my hard work. Obviously you brought me up here because you want to give me my bonus, which is perfect timing for me.
Yeah.
They cut your head off, and then you go back downstairs, and you actually get to pack like a garbage bag. Okay.
In the locker room,
Yeah,
right?
you go back to your locker room, you
Yeah.
pack your garbage bag, and you can take some stuff. But some organizations is nice that they'll put it in a box and they'll mail it to you.
So
Yeah,
can
man.
you-
Something a garbage bag.
Could you go to the could you go to the training room and be like, man, let me get a doggy bag, bro, real quick. Let me get a to-go bag.
like some stuff?
So
They're not gonna do you that bad.
let me get some good to-go cleats.
Yeah, they look. No, you ain't getting no new ones. You ain't getting no. You should have a bunch of them.
What have
in
you
there.
been using?
Yeah.
You can't. What about the hood? You know they come out with the new hoodies and the coats, the sideline.
You better get it while you there.
Yeah. See,
So you got to get it
Once
while
you
you
cut,
active.
you're done
See,
for the
so
season.
that was my thing. When I
Yeah.
played for these teams, I used to love the military hoodies.
Oh yeah.
Every team. Let me get the military hoodie every time. Let me get
grabbed
that
it right away.
Yeah, because if I get cut tomorrow, they ain't gonna give it to me.
can't take it
the
back.
military
Right.
joints on the open market, them boys is 150.
Yeah.
It don't matter what's on it. It could be salute the troops.
That's a
pride.
fact. No, that's a fact.
It could say loyalty.
That crucial catch, that crucial catch one was fire. I made sure I grabbed
Them
that.
150.
Yeah. Mikey, what do you got for us today?
I got two very important things for you guys today. First and foremost,
Yes.
Director Steve is not here today, so I'm going to pan the camera. And we have,
Yeah, Anthony
drum
is
roll
directing
please,
today for the first
Director
time.
Anthony, for the very first time in his professional career, is directing a live TV show. So
Should
if
a
anything
director
goes,
be wearing a baseball cap? Is that professional enough?
yes, it is.
In-
And I call
in
him
today's
DA,
day and
Director Anthony.
Maybe old
Hey, DA,
school.
man, make sure you write that on your resume, too. Don't be telling. Listen,
Yeah, now you got that on the resume,
When
too.
hey, look, I direct, too. You multitask. You know what I'm saying? And you do
Directs.
graphics.
Produce,
Graphics. He's
He's
a
a producer. He slides in baseball.
This water tastes like soil or something.
It's awful.
I can't
It's
believe
disgusting.
it.
I can't drink it. I'm going to drop dead of dehydration in the show. Go ahead.
Two more things. We have a live audience today. My guy Jackson studio today with a new hot sauce brand that hopefully we can work out a deal with
Nice.
after. So,
Nice.
Jack, we appreciate you coming in. And last but not least, tonight, the Guardians are taking on the Dodgers, and it is on WKYC, the same building that we broadcast out of. First pitch at 7:10. The broadcast starts at 7 o'clock on WKYC. It's their 5th annual give-a-thon, so please tune in. If you can donate, that would be awesome. But Dodgers, Guardians, 7 o'clock tonight on WKYC. And for the first time in a long time, Bull,
Yeah.
we have to start the show with the Guardians topic here.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
can't.
the game, which they did actually get a rare win yesterday. Cole Calhoun homered in that game, which I don't know why they're playing. I don't care that he homered. He shouldn't be playing. He's a journeyman veteran batting third in the lineup.
Who was that?
He's been around. He was cut. He was a free agent. He'd been cut during the season, and now he's batting third for the Guardians. Although he did it all home runs, so I guess I can't kill him.
I'm about to say, why you down? And Noah
because we don't.
Syndergaard was
He has
rolling.
no future with the organization. What's the point of playing him?
Noah Syndergaard doesn't either. But
He doesn't either.
He
They
had,
shouldn't-
what, he had 4 or 5 strikeouts yesterday?
Yeah, he stinks, but he had an okay game yesterday.
Wow.
Got shot. He hasn't been good in years. Anyway, but the big news out of the Guardians, guys, is, and I got the phone up because I want to read the exact quote, but Terry Francona basically said yesterday that he's retiring at the end of the season. Now, he didn't flat out say it. You can't really read that on there, but I'll read it to you, what Mandy tweeted. This is what Terry Francona had to say yesterday before the game. I've talked to Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff at length about the future and everything because I don't want to put them in any remotely kind of predicament. So we've had a lot of talks about moving forward. I mean, I think I felt my whole career like the players always have to come first. I mean, I remember being in Birmingham and South Bend. By the way, he managed Michael Jordan in Birmingham.
Yeah, he did.
And thinking about the players come first, and the organization and my situation will always take care of itself. I think to deviate from that now is wrong. So I think there's a time, and there will be a time, to answer any question there might be about what I'm going to do or not do. I don't think that's not because I don't ever want this. It can't be on me, and I can't just let it. The other part is I don't want to lie or I don't want to fib. We've all seen coaches, but they're going somewhere, and somebody asks them a question point blank, and they go no, and then an hour later they got a 6-year deal. I don't want to ever be like that. Just telling you that we're getting there, and there is just a time, I think, to do it appropriately. If Francona's going to retire, I think he should have just said it yesterday. I think that it's more of a distraction that he didn't say it with 100% certainty. But reading that to me felt like he's definitely retired. What do you guys think?
I don't think he really talked like this in the past.
Never.
And so if you start talking like that, that means you've been thinking about it. And if you thought about it, then it's time. I mean, because usually being in the sport, even being a manager or a coach, you've always thought about what's next. Like we got to get here next year, or next year I want my team to be here. I'm always thinking about the team. But whenever you take that time to sit back and reflect on your career and think like, man, like it's probably about to be it. It's over with. I don't think you really can bounce back from that. And we know that he's had a bunch of, some health concerns and stuff like that. We know he's getting older, and we know he can't do it forever. I tell you what, when he do leave, it's gonna be a sad day, and I think this might be it. I think because it's sad that they never gave him the team that he needed to win it all. So
it's also sad that our graphic said he was 3-time coach of the year, 3-time manager of the year.
Manager didn't fit on the graphic, so I switched it to coach. That was an editorial decision to fit in one
there
graphic.
You go. Stand on it, McNuggets. Don't let Bull make you feel bad.
He got mad at me for abbreviating practice to PRAX, and I had to explain to him. There's only so much room on a mini graphic.
I want more room, Mike. Get more room on there.
You really like that when it comes to grammar?
No, not grammar. That's not grammar.
I mean,
I don't give a shit about grammar.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
This reminds me of the late great Frank Ocean.
Oh man,
I've been thinking about you. Ooh, nah, nah, nah. I've been thinking about you. Ooh, nah,
thinking about their retirement, huh?
He been thinking about him too. By the way, Tito, I told y'all this was coming. I told you this has always been my problem in professional athletics, especially when it comes to the Guardians. They've sat there, and basically what they do, Tito's sitting there like, they just wasted years of my life.
Man.
They wait all of this. Were all the prospects worth it? Were all the trades worth it? Because at the end of the day, they felt like Tito was going to be there forever. And they could say, we got the best front office with Antonetti, and it started off with Shapiro and Chernoff. Like, anytime you mentioning your coach, your front office executives, and the marketing people, you ain't got no ball players. That's facts.
Well, to be fair, in 16-17, they had a team good enough to win the World Series.
That's damn near 10 years ago, Bull.
I hear you.
That is about 10
years. We be thinking like that's like yesterday.
You can't say they wasted his whole time here.
I didn't say that.
I mean, he went to the playoffs, so most of the years he was here.
Can you say that they gave him the roster he needed?
No.
Not in the last couple of years, no. But they were one win. I didn't think they were that good, but they were one win away from the ALCS last year. So let's not make it seem that they've had a bad team.
In your heart of hearts, as a baseball man, the Guardians have not had the horses or the roster to seriously compete. The only reason they have been competing is because the division is terrible, and in baseball, you could get lucky.
There's a lot of truth there. They had the roster to compete in 16-17. But in recent years, no, they haven't. In the last few years, they have not had a roster to truly compete with the best teams in the American League. There is some luck, and
this type of year will kill somebody.
You know what's interesting?
It's agonizing.
I wonder how long did he ever tell them, like, I'm thinking about hanging it up?
I'm sure. They have a good relationship.
Okay, so if you know that this is potentially his last year, before the deadline, why would you not try to give him one last hurrah?
I will say
that's terrible. That's a slap in the face.
Well, first of all, who knows? Maybe it was after the deadline that it really was like, okay, this is going to be it.
Do you think the deadline moves? Tyvus,
no.
It's a great point. You don't think the deadline moves pushed him towards
the
end?
It definitely did.
Because they had to go down there and explain them. Anytime they was on lockstep, they would have never had to go explain that to the team. You know why? because Tito was always explaining it to the team. Tito had the lockstep with all the veterans. And even Tito couldn't explain it when all the veterans was getting traded. And at the same time, they're like, well, what are we doing here?
But the reality is this team was not good enough at the trade deadline anyway.
Facts.
They weren't going to win anything in the playoffs, even if they did make it. So I don't think this pushed them over the top. Maybe Francona was pissed that they decided to sell. He might have been. But I think he's been in and out of the locker room for the last bunch of years due to a variety of illness and, physical condition, surgeries that he's had. So it's probably a good time for him to retire. I think he's had his worst year as manager. They may need some fresh blood running the team.
Listen.
But the team is not very good.
I remember what fresh blood looked like before Manny Acta, Eric Wedge.
Yeah,
listen. You can get an Eric Wedge up in here, and you ain't gonna be getting the same type of production, squeezing juice out of these rocks.
That's fair, but like every other sport, in my opinion, there's a few managers that move the needle in a positive way / coaches. There's a few that move it in the negative way. Most are near the middle, and it depends on the talent. And they don't have enough talent, no matter who their manager is right now.
But before this season, I think you have said he is one of those coaches that
he is. But at this point, he's really old. He's had all these health issues. I don't know. I mean, how old is? You got his exact age, Mike?
Terry Francona?
Yeah.
If you give me 1 second.
He's got to be close to 70, no?
I mean, it wasn't going to last forever. I was hoping.
Terry Francona is 64 years old.
Oh, all right.
I mean, that ain't. 65 is the age of retirement.
Man,
So, that picture coming in at 65.
I think they could use some young blood now.
What?
Oh, hold on. These presidential cycles keep coming through. That number going to be like 76 for us. You better stop playing around.
Wait a minute.
65.
Hold on. 65 is the age of retirement. But if you go to the NFL and you get the pension, 55.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you got the good pension. How many you got? You get a pension?
Yeah, I got my pension.
Hey,
What's
got to
wrong
play
with
3
you?
years.
Hey, you got to play 3 years and 3 games. Don't let them fool you. You got to play the 3 games after your third year is where they get you at.
Hey, shout out to your wife.
A lot of people probably get screwed by
you
that.
in there, girl. Hey, girl, you good. All you got to do
It
is
don't come till I'm 55,
It is sad that it's going to end this way for Francona because he's had such a great run here. The team has mostly been very good. For him to end on his worst season, but that's how it ended in Boston too with him. But he won a World Series there.
He should do a last tour. What's they call it when it's your last year?
Farewell tour.
Farewell tour.
Well, that's what Miguel
of
Cabrera's
next
doing.
season. That's what he should do next season.
That's what Miguel Cabrera's been doing.
You know what? Listen, I agree with Tyvus.
You can't go out like this.
Don't go out like that.
You can't go out like this.
Don't go out like that.
Hey, you know what?
Don't
Maybe
do that.
that's why he did. It's possible he didn't say he's retiring because maybe at the end of the year they'll say I'm doing it one more year.
Yeah, don't.
Maybe that's it.
Don't go out. Don't go out like that. Maybe they can muster some magic. They got some of these young arms. Like maybe that'll rejuvenate them or something. But don't go out like this, bro. That's terrible.
It is interesting. You bring up the trade deadline. You wonder, Francona's always had a really good relationship, a good working relationship with the front office, and you wonder if what happened this year created maybe some tension or maybe some discontent between manager and front office for the first time, and maybe that's why, maybe it is why, or a part of the reason that is pushing him towards retirement.
And really quickly, Bull, just to give you an example, you worked in radio for 11, 12 years, right?
11, 12, or 20 years.
Well, in this market, right?
Yeah.
And number one rated show, loved it. Some things happened in your life personally, and you were like, man, okay, well, I want a few concessions. I want to do a couple other different things. And when that wasn't, you felt the organization didn't support you in those things, you were forced to say, I got to step away a little bit.
Right.
And so you know how it is that when you're used to competing at a high level, and you used to winning, and you used to at least being in the mix, and you know you don't got that much left in the tank, you really want to go for it. It makes it worth the grind. The grind, it's a long season.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to at least be in the mix. And when they wasn't in the mix, he like, listen, do I got the energy to do that? Because losing zaps your energy.
No, that's fair. The older you get, the more years you've been there, the less patience you're going to have for a rebuild or starting over.
The worst thing you could do as a athlete or as a coach is to retire early and think to yourself, I could have gave it one more year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think when you done, you'll know, like, I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's there yet.
So you don't think, based on his comments, he's definitely retiring? He's certainly thinking about it.
I'm about to say he's definitely thinking about it
These
for
L's
sure.
he's taking.
But
is hurting.
them L's is bad. They go out there and who knows, man? They go out there and they win a couple more games.
It would be cool if you decide to give it one more year. We know that next year's his final
give us
year.
so we could at least give him let him ride out the way he's supposed to ride out.
Hopefully,
I think the players respect him enough to, if they know that this is his last year, it's like, we going to do everything we can and at least let him go out on
Well,
top.
what does that say about the team if they're not doing everything they can already?
Well, that's just
It's just a little bit more motivation.
Yeah.
Just a little bit
I
more.
hear you.
Because some people come in and be like, my check is clearing on Friday, so it don't really matter.
That's true. Yeah, Mikey.
I got 2 questions for you. Tyvis, I'll start with you. We'll go to Bull, then I'll ask my second one. Is this his last year, or does he have one more in him?
One more. You can't go out like that.
G?
You not about to retire.
One more,
like
man.
this.
I think this is it.
Okay.
But I'd like him to do one more. But it's time for him. It's about time.
So whether or not this is the end or he has one more year, Bull, I know you're the baseball expert out there today. Who do you think the Guardians should target
Oh, Lord.
as his replacement if he does decide to step away?
It's a great question.
Man.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people are suggesting Kevin Cash. But first of all, with current managers, we don't have as much information on like their length of their contract or how much we're getting paid. We don't find out that information. It's not made as public as it's so hard to find those things.
I don't understand how that is.
Yeah, it's weird with GMs and coaches. It's a little hard, especially in baseball. Yeah, I feel like you don't know. I don't know how much any of the managers are making.
School me on who Kevin Cash is.
Kevin Cash is the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh,
Did
okay.
a great job with
Okay.
Tampa Bay. He was Terry Francona's bench coach for many years before going to Tampa.
Okay.
The thing I would ask for those who a lot of people were suggesting to me Kevin Cash is why would he leave Tampa?
That's a good
Like
question.
Tampa's a similar organization to Cleveland.
Is he the manager?
He's the manager. Of
Oh,
Tampa
he
Bay.
ain't leaving there.
And right now they're a way better team.
That really
than
makes
Cleveland.
sense. Yeah.
So why would he leave there?
Unless he got like some type of roots in Cleveland. Does he got like?
I don't think so. I mean, he's worked here, but I don't think he's from here. or
Oh
anything.
yeah. No.
Any chance Sandy Alomar gets it?
Well, that's another name I was going to mention. So Sandy's been talked about for being a manager for a long time.
Kevin Cash is from Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so,
he ain't
yeah,
leaving.
no.
He ain't
He
leaving.
good.
But like, how old is Sandy at this point? He's in his 50s, right? I mean, I think if Sandy was going to manage a team, it probably would have happened already.
He's
Go ahead, Mike.
57.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna.
He
You're gonna
getting up there.
I don't know about like starting with a new manager who's never managed before at 57. Now, listen, the guy was a great player. Might end up being a great manager. I like leaning towards a younger guy at this point.
Sandy has some
How
goodwill
young
built
you
in.
talking?
Not too young, but someone that's played more recently.
Okay. I mean, it is a different day and age.
It is. You know, you got to be. I feel bad because it feels like Sandy deserves.
Yeah.
But I do think their bench coach, DeMarlo Hale. How old is he, Mike? Because I think DeMarlo Hale, who's become their bench coach, may have passed Sandy as like the guy in waiting.
He's 62.
He's old too.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what man, 62.
I think if they wanted it,
I think they're going to stay within the organization.
I do too.
I really that's what they do. I think Sandy or DeMarlo Hale, even though they're older, are both all right choices.
and they can market the hell out of that. They have some goodwill built in with the fan base.
They got good
So
chemistry
he's a
with the
familiar
players.
name. He's a guy who's already been there.
Yeah.
And plus, I think if they're going to be terrible for 2 years, at least Sandy will be entertaining to talk to for 2 years.
See
To be
what
terrible.
Even better, if you want to do that, then go make Manny Ramirez the manager.
Oh, Lord.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be the greatest thing ever. Manny being Manny.
Oh Lord, Jesus! You thought Ozzie?
He do
You
it.
think Ozzie Guillen? Like
Yeah.
Ozzie Guillen was crazy, right?
He'd do it too.
Now Manny, come on, man.
Make Albert Bell his hitting coach.
Manny would do it. I'd be down for that.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'd be down
That's
for
not
that.
going to be Manny, but that would be awesome from our perspective, media perspective.
Yeah.
If you had Manny as the manager, you had Albert Bell as hitting coach.
What if Kenny Lofton was media relations?
There you go, Kenny Lofton. He's kind of crazy
You'd
too.
be like, listen, why you ask that question?
Yeah. Who would be the pitching coach? I'm trying to think of. Bring back Chris Perez, who mailed pot to his dog. Had pot mailed to his dog.
Trevor Bauer?
Oh Lord!
No,
Don't
Chris
do
Bryant.
that.
Nah,
Don't do
Trevor
that.
Bauer's a step too far for
Don't do that.
I was just trying to create the
You can bring
ultimate
back Chris
chaos
Perez
coaching
to be
staff.
Don't do that.
pitching coach.
Bro, we already got we got enough problems in Cleveland as it is. These national media dudes will be all over.
Oh my
You
God!
imagine they bring Barr back? What is going on? I
told you.
With the Cleveland.
I told you what Cleveland is rehab to athletes. They come here and they get their lives back situated.
Or this used to be the place where you come to cash your final check.
That's
Like,
true too. They was paying.
Willie McGinnis got his life. You be like, what? This dude is 35. How you sign a 35-year-old? What?
Jamal
Dwayne
Lewis
Bowe.
Kane, Dwayne Bowe.
Oh,
that was grand larceny.
Man,
Oh, my
listen,
God.
ski mask.
He hit him with a finger gun. Give me all the money.
He was awful.
Give me all the money.
And by the way, they haven't, the powers that be are a little too late. See, we be doing all kind of mixed signals, and they don't know what it mean yet. So when people be doing this, I'm just waiting for them to understand what this really means.
What, this ski mask?
Yeah,
They don't know what that means?
No, don't tell them because they'll get it.
That's a mask. He pulling his mask
Hey,
down.
we saw 2 African Americans.
Oh,
they told
man.
us exactly.
So
what
when they see DVs and these
They
receivers
don't know.
score, they do the handshake and they go,
they don't know. They don't.
Oh,
they're
that's a
confused.
shame.
Like they're confused. They don't know. They haven't outlawed it yet. So, but it's coming. It's gonna come. They're
All
gonna
right, guys, let's put a bow on this topic.
I got one more point on Francona. Then,
Yeah.
hey, for everyone out there, the next 90 minutes is all football. We promise you. I know
I
any
don't
deviation
promise
from
people.
football
All we do is talk football.
is something
they'll
that
survive.
hurts the audience. So the next 90 minutes is all football.
Yeah.
With Francona saying this, whether or not this is his final goodbye, the last however many games they have left, or he comes back for one more season.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see an inspired Guardians team for the remainder of the season, knowing this could be Tito's final ride, or at this point, is the
they're
team
not a
just
good
dead
team.
on
I'm about
I
to
don't
say,
think.
when you say inspired, like, it's a difference between inspired and not having the talent. Like, I just don't think
They don't have, Mike, they picked up a guy off the street. He's batting third for them right
they don't
now.
have
Calhoun
It's
has
just
been
not
very
there.
good.
Huh?
Calhoun's been very fun.
I don't care. He's not part of the future. I don't know why he's playing. Call up the kid they just traded for Aaron Savali.
Manzato, he's making
He
his
just
triple
came
A.
off the injured list.
He's making his AAA debut tonight.
So
in
let him play
Columbus.
for a couple days down there and then call his ass up. Let's go.
Let's get this straight. When you play baseball, it has nothing to do with your want to.
Not at all.
It's either can you hit a curveball or can't you? Can you hit the ball straight? Can you field the ball? It has nothing to do with. You could do some extra. Do one for the Gipper. You could run harder.
That's
tackle
about it,
people.
yeah.
In football or in basketball, you could play defense.
You either go hit that ball or
I
you
think they're
ain't.
going to finish third behind the Tigers. I've watched the Tigers the last couple of nights because they've been playing the Cubs
They
and
hitting.
they got a couple of hitters right now that
Yeah.
they got. Well, first of all, Spencer Torkelson was their top prospect, and he's putting it all together right now. But they got this kid named Terry Carpenter who kind
Awesome.
of came out of nowhere. Who looks like the real deal.
And
they
name-
just called up Austin Meadows' brother, Parker Meadows.
And what's the name? Listen, CC. What is that? C Square. What's his name? Caleb Carter. He sound like a ball player.
Who?
That guy you just mentioned.
Kerry Carpenter.
Kerry Carpenter
Kerry
sound like a
Carpenter.
stud.
It does sound like a ball player.
C
He
Square.
was 20th
He hit a
round pick
three-run
when he
home
looked
run in
good.
the first inning when Earl and I went to the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
He hit the three-run homer in the first. The game ended 4-3. That
Yeah,
was
he
essentially
and
it.
Torkelson have both been on fire, and this kid Parker Meadows is going to be really good too. Just got called up. He got a triple yesterday on a ball that most players are getting doubles on, and he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, that sound like me.
Pretty much, it's you and Parker Meadows
See what I'm saying?
getting triples. All right, we'll leave the baseball there. Let's switch gears to some football, Mike.
Before we get to football, I want to let everybody know that tonight, and by tonight I really mean this afternoon, about 3:30, we're going to do our Behind the Glass podcast. Earl, myself, and DA, a.k.a. Director Anthony, hopping back on the mic to preview some of the Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns preseason game and talk a little more on everything we touched today with Terry, Francona, and others. But that's about 3:30. We're going live, not in studio. We're back live, but we do a lot of the fan interactions like we had done in the past, so that is coming later today. Bull, this got brought up on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we've been saving it for a day where we needed something to talk about, and I think today's the perfect day to talk about it.
Yeah.
The AFC North's a damn gauntlet. All four teams in the AFC North, at least in their respective fan bases, think that their own team should be really, really good this year. There's not an easy game in the AFC North.
Nope.
No matter how good or bad you think the other three teams are outside of
Right.
Cleveland. When you look at this division, where do the Browns stack up compared to Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh?
personally, for me, I think, I think Cincinnati's up here, and I think the other three are pretty close. I think the Browns are the best of the other three. I'm trying not to be biased about that because I hate the Steelers and Ravens. But I think to me, it's the Bengals, then the Browns. I think it's very close between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I'm leaning Baltimore 3 and Pittsburgh 4. But honestly, you could make a case. I think you could make a case for any team finishing first because one of the other three teams could end up surprising and being better than the Bengals. And I think you could make a case for 3 of the 4 teams, not the Bengals, finishing last, which is how good – that's just how I see it. That's how good this division is. But if you ask me today to predict the order of finish, I would say Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers. And I don't think the Steelers are bad, obviously. They're going to be around 500. But if I had – their quarterback is the one I trust the least.
Who are we talking about?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So that's why I put them last.
Well,
Tyvis.
So if we going off a roster, rosters, then the Browns will be number 1. Now, when I look at it, to be obviously you got to give Cincinnati their credit and their respect because they won this division the last couple of years. But I'm telling y'all right now, the fact that they replacing 3 dudes in their secondary, it scares the heck out of me. And I think they're going to be in more shootouts than they've been in the past few years. And with that being said, I mean, top to bottom, I think the Browns they should and they could win this division. And if they don't, it's really a shame.
Should, I don't agree with.
They should. No, they should be able to win this division. I mean, because they really have.
Be able to win it?
Yeah, to be able to win it. I ain't going to say that. I'm not. Nothing is for sure.
Of course they should be able to win.
They should be able to win this division. It's pretty much wide open. The Baltimore thing scares me because they have no D-line. And we was a victim of that last year, and we seen how things went for us. And then Pittsburgh was scared.
Well, also with Baltimore,
they got a whole new.
They're changing the offense.
Yeah, they got a whole new offense. And
like?
When you get an offense like that, I think it takes a little time to gel. I mean, I think they're going to be really heavy dependent on Mark Andrews, and if Zay Flowers is who they think he's going to be, it'll keep them in games. I'm not really sure on the Odell thing. I think Odell can be productive still. I still think he's still a good athlete and still explosive and all those things. But I'm not ready to say he's the number 1 guy because we seen that song and dance and it really wasn't working out. There was a lot of excuses and all that. But Pittsburgh, I mean, they got Pat Pete and they got Joey Porter Jr. at corner. Depending on what Pat Pete got left in the tank, if he's still like Arizona Pat Pete, then or maybe even Minnesota Vikings Pat Pete was good. Joey Porter's going to be some growing pains there. But offensively, I think that they stacked and good enough to compete. Because Kenny Pickett, believe it or not, they put enough around him that he can be successful. He just can't mess it up.
We all know they're good. If they play the season 100 times, which team finishes first the most?
If they played the season 100 times.
That's how I do my predictions. They played 100
The Browns.
Times. So you say Browns 1, who's 2?
The Bengals.
Bengals 2, who's 3?
Ravens.
All right, so you're saying Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers.
No. Steelers, third.
Steelers, Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
Gee, what do you got?
I think on talent, as I look at it, I think all 3 of the teams at the top got comparable talent. When you look at the Bengals, you look at the Ravens, and you look at the Browns. As constituted right now, I would say that I like the Browns' talent more than I like the Ravens. And if I had held a gun to my head, I probably would say I like their talent a little better than the Bengals. However, I'm not going to choose them over the Bengals because the Bengals have proved it the last couple of years, and until they do what they need to do, I can't just put you you ain't gonna go from worst to first, right? Could they win the division? Sure. Well, you guys have eloquently put that. They can because they do have the talent. So I got the Bengals at 1. Now, I am kind of scared about that calf injury. I had a calf injury in high school, and
that changes the whole thing. I mean, that's how important quarterback is, right? If Joe Burrow didn't play the whole season, the Bengals 100% would finish last.
Yeah.
100%. If Deshaun Watson doesn't play the whole season, Browns 100% finish last.
Lamar Jackson.
Same thing with Lamar Jackson.
No. The Browns got DTR.
D-T-R.
Aura. You got third.
You got to say it like the older folks.
So third, this is tough. Now, I would between second and third. I still had the Ravens and I got the Browns. Now the reason I got the Ravens there to a certain extent is this: they just always are in the mix. You can't. I've never seen a bad Ravens year, and even when the Ravens haven't been that good, they still find a way to beat the Browns at least one game, right? And I like they got the best kicking game. They got the best special teams in the division. To me,
that's true.
So special teams is important.
When you got the
Browns got the worst kicking situation.
They got the worst.
Yeah.
So if you got the worst and they got the best kicker of all time, that counts. So, but here's what I'm going to say. I'll say that Deshaun Watson is better. I think what you'll see is if you got a vertical passing threat, Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, you'll start to see the levels. Deshaun Watson will play much better in the passing game. I think overall, the Browns' defensive line is going to show up and show out. And like I've said multiple times, I think Myles Garrett breaks the sack record this year. He breaks it, and it's quite easy.
So what's that order you got?
I got the Bengals 1. I got the Browns 2. I believe both of those guys make the playoffs if Joe Burrow's there. I got the Ravens coming in at third, but I think they still have a above 500 record. And then I got the Steelers. The Steelers to me ain't even that close. Like just because of that guy, I don't like his helmet. I don't like his arms, his sleeves. He has a nasty face mask. He needs to go tanning. This man is not good.
He needs to go tanning.
Like how are you that pale?
I don't. Everybody is completely convinced on Kenny Pickett. I don't see it.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. I also think
he ain't bad, man.
I also think Najee Harris is the most overrated back in the NFL.
I would never take him in fantasy ever again.
Yeah, the numbers bear it out.
The only reason he's decent at fantasy is because he gets a lot of touches. But he doesn't do much with them.
Well, last year he was dealing with the Liz Frank injury, so
all right.
That could bring an elephant down. So.
I just don't like. I just don't like the Steelers very much.
What's the behind the glass predictions for the division?
Well, Earl ran upstairs, so he had to. Was having some internet issues down here, so Earl's upstairs. Director Anthony's directing and doesn't have a mic, so I'll give you guys what I think, and then I have a question for you guys, and I also have PCC read, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I do think what G said is spot on. I think on paper, in my opinion, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens rosters are all relatively similar in terms of talent, with Pittsburgh being one step back. Not a major drop-off, but a step back.
I don't agree with that. I think the Bengals and Browns are more talented than the Ravens.
How can y'all say that when Pittsburgh got...
And I don't think it's a big drop to the Steelers either.
If not the best, one of the most disruptive game records on their team.
It's because of the quarterback. I don't believe in Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
And if you don't have a quarterback in this division, to me, that is enough of, even if the rest of the 52 guys on the team are similar in talent, I do believe in Deshaun Watson. I do not believe in Kenny Pickett. To me, that's enough of a differentiator to say they're not.
The Steelers have a lot of talent. I mean, they're a talented team.
That's what I'm saying.
But their quarterbacks.
But not many times. We just watched this song and dance last season. We seen it with Detroit. We seen it with Miami. We seen it with Philly. They went and got all these guys to compliment
our friend Aditi.
No, they're biased. Not Aditi, but the rest of them are biased.
So here's the thing. I asked you this question. Yeah. DTR looks better than him in the preseason.
Yeah, right.
So is DTR cold? Is he super cold?
Well, a lot of people would say yes.
But that's the point.
They would say yes.
So if we say who better, Kenny Pickett or DTR, you have two people in the fan base that's being like, no, he colder. But how you going to say Kenny Pickett looked good but just diminish what DTR did?
Well,
and if
anything, you would stand more on, well, first of all,
Kenny Pickett's played with the one.
I want to say, that's the biggest factor here is that one of them is going up against starters.
Yeah.
The other has not.
Right.
Now, the other one, yes, he has played over.
Has any starters been playing?
For who?
The rest of the team. Starters been
a little bit, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't seen no starters on the Browns.
Pittsburgh starters played every game.
But
it's the other team playing starters.
I think Kansas City starters played every game.
But to be fair to DTR, he's also playing with third stringers.
Mm-hmm. What that's supposed to mean?
He doesn't have the first-team offensive line blocking for him.
I know he's got Austin Watkins, who's the second coming of Jerry Rice out there.
Thank you.
Well, might not even make the team.
By the way,
did you just say?
He's
Might
gonna
not
play.
guarantee to make a team.
Stop it.
He's playing.
He can sit out. He can never take another snap in the preseason, and he's good.
I think the most fascinating question to me is who's got the better roster, Cincinnati or Cleveland? And
Cleveland.
No, but are you analyzing Cincinnati's roster like you're analyzing Cleveland's roster?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Let's look at. I think it's fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which one would you rather go in the season as your weakness? Your secondary or your linebackers?
I'm not convinced that the Bengals secondary.
That's
is a
not the
weakness.
question. That wasn't the question.
Yes, I'd rather have the linebackers as a weakness.
Okay.
But I don't believe
I
that
rest
the
my
Bengals secondary
the
is a
defense
weakness.
rest.
I like Hendrickson. I like Sam Hubbard. Reader is really good.
The Bengals and Browns both have good defensive lines. The Browns' defensive line may have more upside, but the Bengals' defensive line has played together for years. So they have the chemistry. You know, obviously Myles Garrett's better than anybody the Bengals have on the D line.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bengals have good depth and chemistry. They played together, all together. There's nobody new. I mean, they got a rookie on there, but he's only one guy.
Let's go top to bottom real
Yeah.
quick. We'll have this conversation
Yeah.
out loud. At the quarterback position, not Watson versus Burrow. You're looking at the whole room, but it's really Watson versus Burrow.
No,
Who are you taking between those? I'm going to take a tally, and we'll go through this
That's
position by
blasphemy.
position.
Yeah, come on. That's not.
So we got Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Running back, obviously taking Chubb over Mixon.
Okay.
Receivers?
Cincinnati.
I mean, come on.
Cincinnati.
Well, I'm asking just so we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
I'm doing
Tight
this for an
end is
exercise.
Browns.
So far through three,
Yeah.
it's 2 for Cincinnati.
You can't
1
look
for
at it as
Cleveland.
2 for 2 because the quarterback is more important than the tight end.
We'll give if it
Yeah.
was that, we'll give the edge
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Cincinnati because it is a quarterback.
Offensive line is interesting. I think the Browns is better, but I don't think there's a big gap anymore between the two. The Bengals' offensive line's gotten better over the last 2 years.
Who they get? Didn't they get
They
old boy
but
from
it-
Kansas City?
it got-
Let's look at the line. You'd rather have Orlando Brown at left tackle than Jed Wills.
Yes.
Okay? Left guard, big edge Browns. You got Batonio over, I forgot their left
The fact that you
tackle.
can't think of it, massive.
Yeah,
edge.
he was a rookie last year. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Center, to me, is a wash. Pochich had a nice year. The Bengals center.
You talking about Pro Bowler Ethan Pochich?
Yeah, I think it's a wash at center. Even though the Bengals had a good center last year.
One
too.
went to the Pro Bowl, the other one didn't.
Fair. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think it's a wash. Right guard is also a wash. Kappa had a good year for the Bengals. Teller, good, banged up. Right tackle, I'll give the edge to the Browns.
So the Browns win.
Conklin over.
I get a slight edge.
It's edge Browns on the line, but
Yeah.
the Browns have had a big gap at the offensive line. It's not as big as.
Did
it
we
used
do
to be.
tight ends? Did you guys give an edge?
Yeah.
to
Tight end is to the Browns.
Yeah.
Browns.
Defensive tackle is fascinating.
No, it's not. It's DJ Reader.
I meant defensive line. So
Oh, okay.
I think the Browns. I think the Browns have the best defensive line in the game.
Seattle's. I can't say.
I
that
don't
they haven't done
disagree.
anything.
What? That it's
They
not.
haven't done anything as a team. As a
Okay,
unit.
okay.
We got
We got-
statistically, and when you look at it,
The way-
according to PFF grades,
I mean,
Yeah.
listen.
the Browns have the best defensive
Listen
line.
to me. This is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
If the twos is out there getting after these dudes, the twos and threes is getting at,
Yeah.
then the ones better. It better not look
But the
no
Bengals
different.
are significantly better than the Browns at defensive tackle.
I don't know if I'd say significant.
Well, yeah. I
DJ
mean,
Reader's
DJ Reader's the best of
top
anybody.
5 defensive tackle.
yeah.
But is Tomlinson and Shelby
I'm
Harris
about to
2 and
say
3 if
that
you were
ain't-
drafting just defensive tackles?
Thomas and what's the name are in the top 13?
Shelby Harris.
Shelby Harris, the top 13.
Yeah, you're basing that only on last year's PFF grade only.
That's the only thing I can go off of.
So D-line, who you giving it to? You got to give it to the Browns.
don't know.
One
I
has
think it's
Myles Garrett, the other one doesn't.
I
so.
give the Browns a slight edge. I give the Browns a slight edge.
Linebackers, they ain't even no question.
Linebackers, Bengals are way
There you
better.
go.
And secondary is the
Secondary's
Browns, so I don't
edge
know what
Bengals.
we talking about.
And special teams.
Oh, that's
Special teams
that's
is Bengals.
Cincinnati, yeah.
So
So that means there's 9 positions. And coaching. Who are you giving the coaching edge to?
I got to give it to Zach Taylor.
No.
One guy's won the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game twice. One guy hasn't.
No.
One guy did win Coach of the Year.
We have 3
I'm
people,
a- let-
we have
now,
3
hold on.
people voting.
Let's
so
call
we'll
a
have
spade a
majority.
spade.
Yeah.
If Joe Burrow wasn't the quarterback, Zach Taylor would have been fired years ago. They wanted him out of there at the beginning of
Yeah, but Mike Brown
last year.
doesn't fire anybody. You know that.
That's true.
Marvin Lewis took a playoff game for 17 years ago.
Here's the thing. It is very, and this is why this division is the best division of football. It all depends on
It's very close.
what varying degrees of Deshaun Watson you have. Because Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. He's going to be who he is, I believe, regardless. Deshaun Watson, if he comes out and he is 90% of what he was,
then I'd give the edge to the Browns.
But if he comes back 75% of what he was,
then the edge to the Bengals.
I'm going to the Bengals.
It's really close.
So real quick, and this will prove it. Real quick, who we giving the coaching?
I actually give coaching staff to the Browns.
I was about to say the Browns did what they were supposed to do.
The Browns.
All right, so that means we went through 10 categories.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the varying degrees of the difference in each one is not being counted, just based on who gets the edge. The Browns had 6. Cincinnati had 4.
Right.
I don't know.
But quarterback overrides so much.
I'm just saying that's
really
where the numbers fell out.
Who's the more talented team comes down to how good Deshaun Watson is.
Yes.
You know
That's
what
the difference, because they are like this.
No, listen.
They are like this.
To be honest with you, what
Yeah.
it comes down to between the Browns and the Bengals is Cincinnati's O-line versus the Browns' D-line. Because Joe Burrow has been Joe Burrow for all these years, but what's been the determining factor? They haven't been able to protect. The Browns sacked him a lot of times. The Browns forced takeaways with him. Like, that's the deciding factor.
If they play head-to-head.
Yeah, they play head-to-head. I'm talking head-to-head.
Why it seems like the Browns play well against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Right.
They get sacks and they get takeaways. So as long as that two happens, I don't care if Joe Burrow's Patty Mahomes. If he's doing those two things, it's
right.
over.
But you got the head-to-head, but one team's done something in the playoffs, the other team hasn't.
Correct.
That's all that matters, not the head-to-head record.
What if it came down to who the winner of this game wins the division?
Well, then it matters.
All right.
This is why I'm really anxious to see him this week against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what the D line looks like. I mean, I haven't even noticed. Like, if our defensive line was just the 2s and the 3s,
They'd be great.
I would be like, oh wow, our defensive line is great. But we haven't. They won't even play the rest of these guys. Right.
Well,
so we'll see.
And you'll be playing against the Chiefs' offensive line. That's excellent.
Yes, and a quarterback that is.
And that's the thing, and that's why it comes all the way back to what we were kind of talking about a little yesterday, is there's no excuse for the Browns because they are loaded talent-wise.
Yeah.
Like I said, I give the Browns credit for this offseason. They literally took anything that we got on this show and complained about last year, they fixed it.
Except for linebacker.
Well, they was hurt.
It wasn't like they were that good.
They weren't that good.
You know how they addressed it? They spent the whole OTAs having one of the guys that criticized them the most come up there and coach them
Ain't
up.
that crazy?
So,
What a pickpocket
they
move. In fact, I just texted. I texted DeQuell a couple of days ago. I was chatting with
I
him.
would cut him.
We were talking about that. But,
That's so crazy.
DQ misses us, by the way.
I know, man.
DQ's doing good.
I was texting with him, but you're right. Like, they got better at safety.
They got the defensive
way
coordinator.
better on defensive line.
Coordinator. They got a special teams coach who we still need to see
and
some
wide
improvement.
receiver they got better.
They still need a burner though. That's the one thing that they missing on.
I take it back as I go back through these lists. I think the Ravens is a step below the Browns.
Talent-wise.
Yes, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's their D-line.
I'll tell you what. I would make an argument that the Steelers overall, minus quarterback, are a more talented roster than the Ravens.
I agree.
Because they got a bunch of young guys they're playing up front.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If you ask me, forget the quarterback, rank the teams in order of what talent you want, I'd say the Browns are here, the Bengals are here,
and the
Steelers are here, and the Ravens are here, to me.
And it's a very small little but I look at it, the Ravens don't have a dominant offensive line. It's okay. They don't have dominant receivers. They're all right.
Didn't they lose? Wasn't Orlando Brown with the Ravens?
Yeah,
he had been. No, last year he was on the Chiefs.
He was on the Chiefs.
So he left the Ravens to go to the Chiefs, and now he went from the Chiefs to the Bengals.
Yes. He was traded from the Ravens to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he was a free agent.
Because he wanted to play left tackle?
Yes.
And he was playing right with the Ravens?
Yes.
Okay.
They had Ronnie Staley in Baltimore, who was their left tackle.
I got you.
I got one more question for you guys on this, and then we'll get to PCC route and move on. But let's do best case, worst case scenario for the 4 teams in this division. We'll start with the Bengals.
Assuming quarterbacks are healthy.
Assuming health. Yeah, assuming health.
They're not going to be any good without a healthy quarterback.
But let's go at least just record-wise. assuming Joe Burrow's healthy, we'll start with the Bengals. We'll do all 4. What
Go
is
ahead.
the best case scenario for the Bengals record-wise, and what's the worst case scenario?
Best and worst. Go ahead for the Bengals.
13-4.
And the worst?
Because assuming Joe Burrow's health, everybody's
Yeah,
healthy.
assuming all quarterbacks in this are
Assuming
healthy.
10
quarterback
and
health for all
7.
4 teams.
10 and 7.
So 13-4, 10-7. G, Bengals.
13-4 and 9-8.
Bull?
I mean, I'm right in the same neck of the woods. I was going to say 14-3. I'll say 14-3, 9-8.
That secondary scares me, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm
It's
the
just
only,
the safeties. It's not the corners. Who did they lose at corner?
the best trash talker that
He is-
they ever
and
had.
he's playing with Tyreek Hill.
I
which is
know.
funny.
They need that energy back
Yeah.
there.
Let's do the Browns
Okay,
next.
Browns. The Browns
Best
probably
case.
have the biggest variance of any team.
Yeah, they do. The Browns,
disagree with that.
assuming everybody's healthy, they could go easily. They go 14-3.
Easily. Nobody
Easily.
goes easily.
Yeah, they go easily for it. No, they could.
And what's their bottom?
7-10.
Dang, that's crazy. You're right, because that's crazy. It's like so.
Yeah.
Roster wise, 14-3, and
I'm
one of them is because they resting starters.
I'm gonna go 14-3 and 8-9.
I'm going 13-4, 7-10.
So far,
We're all
Tyvis
kind of on
has
the
the
same.
biggest variance, and I'm
Yeah.
keeping track of this, and that's 7-game variance
Yeah.
for the Browns on Tyvis. Let's
Right.
go to the Ravens next. Best case scenario for the Baltimore Ravens.
10-7.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'll give them 11 wins. So what they saying out there is if Odell Beckham Jr. is the old OBJ, if he's right healed up and Mark Andrews gets to be where they are, the J.K. Dobbins that they used to have when they drafted him out of Ohio State, a couple
Yeah.
years away from the ACL injury.
Go Bucks.
I put them at. They really feeling they can get 12 wins.
I got both the Steelers and Ravens 10-7 high, 7-10 low.
I got
Both of them.
So 12 would be 12-5.
5.
And then the lower rank, the wheels could fall off.
That's what I'm saying.
I got them at
6 and 11.
6 and 11.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
6 and 11.
All right.
I should think, in my opinion, the Steelers have the biggest variance because the rest of their roster, as you mentioned, take out the quarterback, is very good. If Kenny Pickett comes out and surprises me in a way I don't see it coming, I do think this team can win 11, 12 games in a world. And worst case, if he is bad like I think, it wouldn't shock me in a worst case scenario for them to go 5-12 this year.
Nah, they're not going. Mike Tomlin's teams ain't
That's
going
ridiculous.
5-12.
I'm going to say, for the Steelers,
Yeah. I got a 10-7, 7-10.
I got 11-6, 8-7. They not. I mean,
8-9.
8-9. No. 9-8. They not going under
Would you
500.
go? Would you go?
I went 10-7, 7-10 for the Steelers.
They're not going under 500. 9-8.
I'm giving them. I think the highest the Steelers can do this year is second. Like if they come second in the division, that's the best they can do. I think they're capped. To be truthful, they're capped. Like I don't. And I know their talent is decent. I like Pickens.
They got a good receiver squad. Pickens, Freiermuth.
I feel you can.
They just got Allen Robinson.
Corpse of Allen Robinson.
They got Deontay Johnson.
I
Didn't score a touchdown last year.
He
Shout out to
didn't.
Deontay Johnson. He got another video up with the route guy.
Is he from Toledo?
Yes.
He went to Toledo.
Yeah. But he got the dropsies though. He be dropping the
All right,
rock.
Mikey.
He be getting open.
What you got?
I got to do a PCC read right now because we asked the internet a
Okay.
question. Whenever we read an answer from the internet, it's brought to us by our dear friends at PCC Airfoils. If you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. I asked the YouTube chat, and I did it myself today because Earl's upstairs and Anthony's directing. Where will the Browns finish in the AFC North this
Oh, I
season?
wonder where this poll's going to end up.
I gave 4 options. I gave first, second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
We had over 700 votes in the poll.
You know what it is.
In fourth place,
Football season for sure.
fourth,
Oh.
7%.
Right.
Okay.
In third place, third, with 9%.
Of course.
What do you think finished first?
First place, without a
Second.
doubt.
Oh, Tyvis said second. Well, Tyvis, you're wrong. You don't know the YouTube chat.
Stop.
Second
Stop.
place,
No,
didn't go second.
I know,
But it was
bro.
close. 40% said second place. Only 44%.
I'm surprised
said
it was
first
that
place.
close.
He said, "You don't know the chat. The chat is honest. They keep
chat
it,
is many things.
The
Honest
chat,
is not one
the
of them.
chat keep it all the way true
Hey,
on
listen,
there.
I
I need. You know what? I'm about to read some comments.
you know what? This is the funny thing about it. If you were just to say, all right, if they was just like, hey, give me that old Watson. If they got that old Watson and put him on a team, most people would say the Cleveland Browns would, because I could look at it and say the Cleveland Browns got a better roster than the Chiefs.
The Chiefs and the Bengals
They
have proven
do.
stuff. The Browns haven't.
I'm just-
And that's all.
but that's what's
when you're
holding us
making
back.
predictions.
You know what
the
the-
Browns is more of a hope,
That's what's holding
whereas
us
these
back.
other teams are more of a sure thing.
That holds us back. But when I look at the Chiefs,
yeah,
I see 2-3 people.
it don't matter.
And
Patrick
two,
Mahomes is
and
good.
two of them
We had this
three, and two of them
argument
three
already.
is the coach.
Here's all you need to
That's
know.
a fact.
Here's all you need to know about the Chiefs. You know what? How many quarterbacks do you think have started at least 30 games in the NFL? Thousands?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay. If you look at Patrick Mahomes' winning percentage, in games the Chiefs were losing by 10 points. When you're in the NFL, Tyvis, and you're losing by 10 points, you usually lose, correct?
Yeah.
Depending on when the quarter is.
But I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Usually you lose,
You're
right?
done.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes has a 580 winning percentage in games the Chiefs were trailing at some point by 10. Okay? The next best in the history of football is, I think, Tom Brady at about 40%.
Now,
His winning percentage in games they were trailing by 10, if you just took those games, is the 41st best winning percentage in the history of football.
What do you think his career winning percentage is in all games as a starting quarterback? He started 80 games in his career.
It's probably like 80%.
G?
say that again.
What's his
Mahomes'
career winning
winning
percentage as a
percentage.
starter? 80 career starts.
He's probably
68%.
Tyvis.
Jim, I mean, you said what is Patty Mahomes'
Winning
Winning
percentage.
percentage.
Yeah.
73.
68. Okay.
It is 80% on the dot. He is
80%.
64 and 16
I mean,
in
that's
80
absurd.
games.
Damn.
That's absurd.
For his career, I'm reading this real
He
quick.
took out, they lost the best receiver or one of the best receivers in football last year, and it didn't matter.
This is what I'm
it
going to say.
didn't matter because that's how good he is.
This is what I'm going to say. This
Yeah.
is why, and they going to have to just go how to do it. I would rather play the Chiefs now than I would have played the Chiefs 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you're not. It's too tough.
They still won the Super Bowl last year.
This is the reason, though. Like they got a really nice
What do you,
matchup.
G, they just won a Super Bowl. What are you saying?
Let me watch this. Watch this. Let me watch what I'm doing. I would have rather played them 3 years ago. I think the team that they had last year is beatable. However,
They were about to lose.
They're beatable. Now, the reason I say that the Chiefs are more beatable now is if I look at the Browns roster and you say you spot the Browns 10 points with Deshaun Watson, go ahead.
Deshaun Watson
Yeah,
pulled a 21-point lead to Patrick Mahomes.
But he didn't have.
did do that.
He did not have.
But see the difference.
He
Yeah,
didn't have Nick Chubb.
That's the difference right
If
there.
you get a
Yeah.
Browns a 10-point lead now,
Nick Chubb is there.
and Nick Chubb is
it's
there,
over.
it's a wrap. Like what we can
Against most teams, yes, it's not a wrap against
and
the
guess
Chiefs.
what? And guess what? We could
Yeah.
also do. We could also generate pressure with 4 people. I could put 7 back there.
I hear you.
with Mahomes.
I'm just saying the Bills
Patrick
were up
Mahomes
with
is in a
13
world by
seconds
himself.
left. Yeah, the Bills had 13
I
seconds.
mean, let's not act like
Where's his winning percentage all time right now?
no running games.
I actually like Pacheco.
So Patrick Mahomes' overall winning percentage is 80%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's,
Now he's gonna play a lot.
isn't
longer.
Lamar's like stuff like that too? Isn't Lamar's
Not
pretty
that high.
It's like
It's
70.
high.
It's
It's
like
high.
70 or
Yeah,
something
it's
like
good.
that.
That's
I
why.
think Jimmy Garoppolo's like 72.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Otto Graham holds
Stop.
the highest career win percentage in NFL history.
I don't care about Otto Graham.
No.
814.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Only Grams I like is Teddy Grams.
He
Patrick
played-
Mahomes is second all time.
Yeah.
Behind
To me,
Otto
he's
Graham.
first. Nothing that happened in the 50s.
What's the
matters
best
to me.
Graham? Golden Grams or Auto Gram?
Teddy.
Teddy.
Teddy's is better. Yeah, I go with Teddy.
I'm not a Golden Graham
Actually,
fan.
is Graham Cracker count? Because I'll
Yes,
take Graham Cracker
Graham-
over at Teddy.
especially
That's
with
a
some
s'mores.
milk. With
That's
the
the base for a
cinnamon?
s'mores.
No,
Woo.
cinnamon Teddy Grahams.
Instagram?
Fire.
What does that rank?
Instagram.
Grams counts.
Instagram.
I'm going Instagram.
Yeah,
The
I'm
best
going-
gram. Top 5 grams.
Gram of illegal substances?
There's a thing called
Damn,
fentanyl.
Mike.
Wow.
There's a thing called fentanyl now, and that shit and everything. All them grams.
That is
nobody.
called- when that gets brought up, you say, "I plead the fifth."
It's like,
On that
All right,
note, Mike.
we got to move on to our next topic here, and I've been saving this for a day Tyvus is here because it involves Tyvus's guy, Denzel Ward. Throughout training camp, going back to Greenbrier all the way up till yesterday, the beat reporters for the Cleveland media have put out their practice report, notes, observations, and one name that has been, there's more than one, but one name in particular that has stood out to me has been the constant praise of one Denzel Ward, who had a down year last year, signed a massive contract the offseason prior, but seems to be back to the elite form that the Browns had then signed to
back
a
to
full
elite
year.
form because he's doing it in practice. Is that what you're saying?
According to reports, it seems to
researching?
be he's back. Yes.
Will you cut that out? Can he
It's
finish?
practice.
Let him finish, please.
Talking about practice, not a game.
McNuggets.
Not a game.
Before you were so rudely interrupted, go ahead. Finish your
That's
statement.
what I do, Tyvus. I rudely interrupt. Go ahead.
My question
Yeah.
to you is, Tyvus, despite the fact that Denzel Ward may not have lived up to the expectations in 2022, do you fully expect him to get back to the form he had in 2021, where he was considered a top 2 or 3 cornerback in football
I
that
don't think
landed
he was
him
considered top 2 or
a
3.
top contract
Getting a
ever
little nuts, Mike.
for a quarterback?
Will you cut it out? Cut it out.
Mike's getting a little nuts.
Okay, so I've had a chance to have a conversation with Denzel. One day when he was at practice, this was during OTAs. When he came off the practice field, him and we talked for a little bit, and he told me he was feeling really good. And I told him, after me telling him that I got to grill him from time to time on the internet or on this show because I got to hold people accountable, which he understood. We talked about this upcoming season, and he was just telling me how he felt really good. In the past, there was a lot of things that he had to deal with off the field and injuries and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, Denzel is one of the most, if not the most talented corner I've seen when it comes to just speed, flexibility. I mean, some of the plays that he make is just ridiculous. And it just kind of got away from that last year. It was a tall task. The defense as a whole wasn't great. And when you get a part of something like that, you can fall victim to it's just another Sunday. But I think to him, he understands that this defense can be the focal point of this whole team. You got a coach in here who believes in him, who's putting you more man-to-man situations, who's allowing you to be you. You want to press a lot, they're going to allow you to press a lot, So I think he has the confidence back in himself again. And I think he sees that in order for this team to get where they want to go, he has to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%, he has to be the guy.
And I think he can, Tyvus, but let's be fair. He's missed 20% of the games since he's been in the NFL.
Yes.
And he's never, I don't know what Mike's talking about, top 2 or 3 corner. He's never been a top 2 or 3 corner. He's been top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
And that's what we need him to be.
Yeah, top 8.
And that's what he's capable of being.
That's what he
should be.
That's what I believe
And that's what
he
they
will
paid him
be
for.
this season. Especially now that you incorporate that pass rush. If they don't get their hands on a lot more balls this
Right.
year,
He's
it's
gotta
a
stay
shame.
healthy. He's missed it.
That's half the battle. That's like 80% of the
He's
battle
missed
for
at
him.
least 2 games every year.
Yeah.
And 4 of his 5 years, he's missed at least 3.
That's half the battle for him.
I want
healthy.
him. I think he can get back to that, man. Here's one thing I'm going to say about Ohio State players, and bear with me here.
Oh, here we go.
At Ohio State.
Wait a minute. Before you say that,
All right, go ahead.
go Bucks.
All right. Let me get my Kool-Aid.
Oh, boy.
Let me get this soiled water.
So tainted love. By the way, I'm gonna say about this about Ohio State players. At Ohio State, it is such a pressure cooker that when you come to Ohio State, they got 96 dudes at your position.
That's not true.
Listen, they
That
got
is not
97.
true. It's not
Like
true.
they'll tell you, like, yeah, you good, but like they always got an All-American coming. Not all state, not all county. And
That
then-
might be true.
and then if you don't do nothing really in practice like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, you starting now, but you ain't got no production, so this other dude can come get your minutes. That's why when you see these dudes performing, these dudes be breaking their necks to get interceptions and sacks and listen, just then people, if you don't play right away, they got to come out early. Look, Luke Whippler looks like a great center. They was like,
You see that? Ain't that something that he fell in the
he fell in
draft?
there. Ronnie Hickman gets all these picks. All of a sudden, he had 3 picks at all. He get picks down. What happens is that level of talent and that pressure cooker, and when it's good versus good all the time, that's how you get your program to be there. Sometimes when you go from there to the pros, to be honest, it's a step down. Think about it. Denzel Ward is a number 4 overall pick. It ain't never been no time that Denzel Ward has ever been in playing for the Cleveland Browns where he's been challenged like his minutes was ever going to get taken. Not once.
That's true.
Not once. He's always been the best corner on the roster.
Ain't that crazy? He came in Ohio State and he sat behind
Posted
Marshawn Lattimore
Posted.
and Gary Conley.
Posted. And guess what? He got
Who always first round picks too.
They
Gary
played-
Connolly's been tweeting like crazy about high school football in Ohio.
Yeah, he's back. He's
Sorry,
back in the.
No, yeah,
he's in the. I think he went to either the XFL or the USFXL, or the USFL, which is great by him because he went through a lot. He has some injuries where they diagnosed that he has something wrong with his ankle. He had surgery for it. They found out that that's really not what was wrong with it, so he got kicked out the league for that.
It's a mess.
And he couldn't
you're
run.
right.
It's crazy.
You see how quickly you can get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
talking about
crazy.
DBs from Denzel Ward was number 4. We start talking about Gary Conley. Like, look, we ain't even talking about Jeff Okuda.
GC.
We're like, we ain't even talking to him. So here's the thing. He gets here, and yes, he can be a top 5 corner. It's so hard to keep that fire, and it's so hard to keep that thing. When he came in, the first game I seen him play, he played against the Steelers, and they was playing against the Steelers.
Didn't he get like a
He had
game-winning
2
pick?
picks.
Yeah,
And he was in zone. And he was like, nah, I don't like what I just saw over there. I'm about to just jump his zone out. It wasn't even his zone. And I'm like, that's what we need. We need guys playing the football, getting turnovers, being playmakers.
Well, let me ask you this, Bull. Who is your top 5 corners right now?
I don't even know that I can answer that question. And I think Denzel Ward is certainly capable of being. I agree with you.
Yeah, he's capable.
He hasn't been yet.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
He's been really good, but he hasn't been top 5 yet. He hasn't.
He ain't been top. He has not have top 5 impact.
He's not been an All-Pro.
So
You've gotta be an
2020, he wasn't like.
He wasn't an All-Pro.
He got paid. What are you talking about?
But he wasn't because he's really good.
He had a good year in
But there's-
2020.
As G. Bush would say, there's levels to this.
There's levels.
He hasn't reached that top level yet.
And you got to think about it, Tyvus. Is he on? If Myles Garrett is the number 1 overall pick, you the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah.
Whose production look like what? Myles Garrett is already the all-time
Denzel
leading
Ward's not
sack.
going to the Hall of Fame.
He's already all-time leading sack leader. Number 4, he could be at least. I need at least 5 picks, 6 picks. He's shown it a little bit, and he got the tools. He got it. He just listen.
I don't think we're knocking Denzel.
No. I'm not saying that we nobody here is knocking Denzel. I understand where y'all coming from. You're saying that he hasn't looked like the number 4 pick, and he should be. He has all the tools, but he hasn't put it together. That's what y'all saying.
Like Joe Hayden, right?
Yeah.
Joe Hayden got he did his thing. He went to Pittsburgh. He did his thing a little bit. Everybody in the world knows that Joe Hayden does not have the tools Denzel Ward has.
No.
Right.
Not even in the same boat.
No.
But Joe Hayden wills himself with his little 4.6 40 and his little 4.6.
It was a 4.5.
He wills himself to get these picks. And, I don't know how he does it with smoke and mirrors, but at the end of the day, if Denzel Ward gets to
I
that
want
top
Denzel
5,
to be an All-Pro this year. An All-Pro, not Pro Bowl. I want to be
don't
All-Pro.
tell
Come on,
look right in that
All-Pro.
camera.
We all know you're capable.
Put the camera on. Go
We
ahead.
all know you're capable, Denzel. Be an All-Pro.
You know those-
You're an All-Pro means one of the 2 best corners in the AFC this year.
you know those guys. Remember back in the day when Denver had the no-fly zone?
Aqib Talib, Roby, and Chris Harris Jr.
Another Ohio State guy.
Go Bucks.
But look, you feel this guy. Product placement is huge with this guy.
Yeah.
They should be paying you more. Listen, hey, by the way, they got the makings of that too. Look,
Who are you talking about? The Browns? Oh yeah. On paper it looks like that for sure.
Look, you see.
But the thing is, the no-fly zone was they was strapping people up and they was getting picks. And it wasn't just the corners; it was the whole secondary. They had safeties that was involved as well. And with this, they have it. I mean, they're going to have the opportunity. That defensive line play like they're supposed to play. The interceptions should come. And this man right here on the screen right here, if he don't finish this season with at least 2 picks.
I need 3. I
mean, that shame on you. Shame on you.
To that point, Mike, you wanted to ask us like how we'd rank the Browns corners.
I did want to ask how you guys rank the Browns corners heading into this season.
Denzel 1, MJ 2, and him G-New 3.
I agree.
I thought you were going to say rank the secondary in the league since Tyvus was here. Like, is they in the top 10?
The Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, they top 5.
That's great.
We
Top 3.
No.
Top 5, who you got above them?
Dallas.
Okay.
Philly?
I disagree with that, by the way. You're already wrong.
You disagree with Dallas?
I think Trevon Diggs is one of the more overrated cornerbacks in football.
That's fine. That's fine to think that, but a guy who gets you picks is you can't never look at it like
Give me that ball back.
Anybody, because that is the single best thing you could do as a defender is get the ball back. How is that overrated?
PFF as much as anybody.
What is he talking about?
We can't constantly just go. We went to the point where people. Everybody used
I'm
to
not
ignore
going off just
PFF.
PFF.
Now that's all we look at.
I'm not going off just PFF.
Who they got?
They got Gilly. They got Gilly the kid on
gives up big
the
plays,
only
though.
defensive
Mike's
player
right.
of the year
He's
at
so
corner.
But Mike is right. He's so aggressive that he does give up a lot of big plays.
But he also gets you picks.
All right, but sometimes
So we got Dallas,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it was like, and real quick, it was like the whole Asante Samuel, Darrell Revis beef on Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
where
that was hilarious.
It was funny. And Samuel had a bunch of picks. He also got burnt a bunch. Diggs, just like he takes, he also gives away in big plays too.
But to me,
I want my
Samuel-
cornerback to be more consistent than a guy who
So you rather
has the high-low variance.
So you rather have the cornerback that gives up that get beat maybe here and there. I say if it's 17 games, he only get hit for 100 yards 2 times out the season, but he only has 2 picks on the season.
Do you want me to tell you what PFF, since we talk about it all the time, what they have?
I thought you just said don't look at PFF, Bull.
I didn't say don't look at it. That's not the only thing. But
That's what he said.
it was the first thing that popped up.
All right.
No, I'm just messing with you. Yes.
Now, they went with whole secondary, not just corners.
Okay.
So they have as the best secondary projected the Jets.
I don't know who the Jets safeties is, and that's my problem.
Jordan Whitehead and Chuck Clark.
That sound like 2 construction workers.
I mean,
Chuck Clark used to be on the Ravens.
yeah. I mean, they're good.
who he is.
Would you trade? I wouldn't trade Sauce Gardner for any corner in football right now. Would you?
Outside of Pat Surtain.
I'm about to say, I trade him for Pat Surtain.
Okay. How old's Pat Surtain?
1 year older
He's
than him.
1 year older. Those are the 2 best young corners,
All right.
in my opinion.
Sauce Gardner don't really scare me.
And if J.C. Horn ever decided to stay healthy, he'd actually be really good.
All right. So they got the Jets one. They got the Dolphins two.
Well, Ramsey's hurt.
Their corners.
Ramsey, I can't name. I can't put. I was gonna say them, but they can't because he's hurt.
This was done a couple months ago.
Okay.
They have
All right.
Ramsey, Xavier Howard,
Yeah.
Javon
Yeah.
Holland in the secondary.
No, they
Number
good.
3, the Eagles, who I mentioned.
Okay.
They got
No
their
problem.
corners are Slay, Bradbury, and Avonte Maddox.
I ain't got a problem with them.
That's solid.
Number 4, the Broncos. Your boy Patrick Surtain, who you mentioned.
I don't know who opposite of him.
I don't either.
Damari Mathis and K'Wan Williams.
My boy KK.
K'Wan Williams
KK
was
like
here.
that. Yeah, KK like that. He good.
Yeah.
I was with him in San
Number
Fran.
5,
He
the
good.
Ravens. Although Marlon Humphrey got hurt. I don't know how serious that is.
Who's
he's
opposite of him?
Brandon Stevens and Rock Ya-Sin.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
Pro football. No.
The
that's not
Chiefs secondary, they need to cut it out. They be this Patrick Mahomes stuff must stop.
I be telling you.
Hey, y'all,
they got 3 players.
like my goodness, the coach, Travis, Pat. No, that's a lie. Chris Jones.
Just won the Super Bowl,
Chris
guys.
Jones. I mean,
Let's not get crazy
I
here.
mean,
I hear what you're saying.
Hey man, LeBron took Matthew Dellavedova to the championship too, and won in Golden State Game 1.
And Dudley got paid.
And Deli almost died in that
he almost
series.
died.
That's not fair.
How was he not?
The Chiefs are a good team. What are you talking about?
The
Cavs were a good team too.
That LeBron put that when Mahomes put the cape on.
That's actually a good one right there.
Deli was out there playing Steph Curry and almost died.
Yeah, he did.
Boy, you got 2 minutes before I move on to the next topic here. Give me one more list.
Nah, I don't like this list.
And how could a man push another man to almost death? Like
Chasing Steph Curry is
out of pocket with the Chiefs right now.
What do you mean?
Out of pocket with the Chiefs.
Prove it wrong.
Hey, they had. I don't even know who they.
Name me somebody.
Scott Moore. First of all, their offensive line is excellent. It's one of the best in the league.
Okay. They don't never get praised.
Chris Jones is one of the best pass rushers.
We said that.
Their secondary is good.
No, they don't do
They
that.
say it's not good?
We just took Thornhill. That don't count.
Name me
One guy.
who in their secondary off the
I
top
don't
of
know any names in their secondary.
Don't tell me they
I don't follow the Chiefs like I follow the Browns. As great as Mahomes.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Give me somebody in the Cincinnati Bengals secondary. Hold on.
Chidobe Awuzie.
I rest my case.
Follow the Bengals.
I rest my
Last
case.
point, I'll read the Chiefs secondary. We're going to move on here. According to ESPN, their depth chart currently right now, Trent McDuffie, who was a first-round pick last year, L'Jarius Sneed, who's
They got young
good.
players.
Justin Reed at safety.
I'm not Jay Reed. That's my guy. He like that.
Brian Cook.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that
And
is.
the two backup cornerbacks are Jalen Watson, who was a 7th-round pick last year, who played well, had the pick six against.
The best quarterback by Myles.
So
they've got a great offensive line.
So why did you?
They got the best.
Let him run it down.
They have three good players.
Let him run it down. I ain't heard a showstopper yet.
But nobody's saying they got a million showstoppers. You don't have to have superstars. If you have Patrick Mahomes, the best coach, the best tight end, one of the best offensive lines.
So what you're saying, and if you got LeBron James,
I just think a bunch of other things. Their defense is filled with solid players, including one of the best pass rushers in the
J.R.
game.
Smith, one of the best three-point shooters.
I'm just saying.
You guys are crazy.
All right, before we move on, I got to remind everybody that if they haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping our YouTube algorithm, and the bigger numbers we get, the more content we can do for you guys. So continue to support the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. On the back end, we will continue to support y'all as well. Moving on to the last of our non-32 and 32 Browns topics of the day. Kevin Stefanski said something that caught my eye. And maybe I'm looking way too far into it. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
You are.
But I'm going to play a quote. I'll tell you what I kind of thought when I heard it, and then you guys, I never say I'm always right. I'm right 97.5% of the time.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
I'll disagree, but this is
I'd
Kevin
say
Stefanski
57% of the time.
in practice yesterday. Take a listen.
It looks like he's in the backfield all the time.
It looks like that because he is. Yeah, I don't know about the more than previous seasons. He's a pain in the butt for the offense, and we know that with teams that we go against, they give him plenty of attention. They know they want to know where he's going to line up. They're going to try and put a tight end over there as much as possible. So he gets a ton of attention from defenses. But he's playing at a high level right now. We just got to continue on that progression.
It looks like
So
I couldn't hear a word he said.
to repeat if you couldn't hear,
by the way,
he was asked
something you didn't realize. You know how G has a hard time sleeping?
Yeah.
You know, some people use drugs. Some people use
Herbal
hypnosis,
remedies.
herbal remedies. When G really has trouble sleeping, he listens to Kevin Stefanski press conferences, and he's out.
Well, that's why what he said was a little interesting to me. Kevin Stefanski will defend his players to the public to the utmost end of the spectrum. He is never, in the time I've been here, and I asked Earl and Anthony before, can you ever remember a time that he's taken a shot at a player? And I'm not sure if he did it intentionally, unintentionally, but when the question from Zach was asked, is Myles Garrett in the backfield more often than usual this offseason? And he says, well, it looks like that because he has. Do you not see it as a little bit of a subliminal shot there at Jed Wills?
Zero.
No.
Subliminal shot at who?
By the way, why would you ask Anthony if Stefanski said anything beforehand? Anthony was too busy watching anime movies.
Yeah.
The hell, he wasn't paying attention to the Browns.
I've
I've been busting Earl's balls a little too much lately. I got to get you right now, Anthony. You're on the shopping block.
First of all, like we'll say, there's massive levels to this thing. And Jed Wills is not on the basement level of where Myles Garrett is. As a matter of fact, they could put an imaginary man out there named Johnston. It doesn't matter.
An AI.
Myles Garrett is going to win that matchup. It has nothing to do with how good Jed Wills is. He doesn't even see him when he's pass rushing. The reason he's in the backfield every single play is Myles Garrett has no responsibilities anymore. He just doesn't. So think about it like this. He's angling. You tell Myles Garrett, hey, you see the tackle? Go out 3 steps to the left of him. Get you some space. Now I want you to tilt inward a little bit. Get you a nice little 90-degree angle. I want you to get in a track stance, and I want you to explode. Pause.
I was thinking the same thing.
And I need you to destroy the left tackle, put your face mask in the V of his neck, and drive him in the backfield every single play. Or sometimes get in that same stance and run around him every single play. Or sometimes act like you're going to run around him up and under and come tackle everybody. You just get off the edge, and we don't care what you do, just destroy everything. And guess what? The other defensive end has the same assignment. And he can do whatever he wants to.
I don't like that, for the record. No, I don't like this not having contained thing. It's a recipe for disaster. It should work, but if they get outside them ends, it's a wrap. I'm just telling you right now, so I don't like that. But
the quarterback's been looking to get rid of the ball very quickly again.
All I'm gonna tell you, you ain't got contained on defense. That's a recipe for disaster. That's like football 101. But anyways. No, he's not taking no shot at Jed Wills like that. He's right like that. He not blocking nobody's really checking Myles Garrett one-on-one.
No.
And in practice, he's trying to get other looks. He's not even, this play don't even matter what Myles Garrett does on this play because we looking at a different look. In the game, if we was going against Myles Garrett, he's going to be double teamed or triple teamed. Every time it's going to be a tight end to that side, whatever the case may be. So it's other ways to handle that. They're not doing that because they're focused on getting a look somewhere else. That matchup not even paid attention to in practice because they know Myles is going to win, and he should.
You know when fans complain that people do things for clicks? That's the only reason Mike brought up this topic.
He wanted clicks?
This was for clicks.
Well, Myles Garrett. Oh, yeah. Jed Wills.
Kevin Stefanski has never purposely insulted a player ever.
And he's not.
Forget his own team. Never even the players on other teams. He never has anything controversial to say ever. Not once. In the now 4 years that he's been here, he's never said a single controversial thing.
Even when Baker was skipping the ball with one arm down the field.
Baker was a pain in the ass. Even when Odell was a pain in the ass, he never said a thing negative about anything.
But we do know that Stefanski watches UCSS every day.
Of course
and
he
at
does.
some point, you listen to G talk about Jed Wills like a used car salesman blow just waving the wind.
No disrespect, Jed Wills. I have not called you out of your name. I just talk about your play. Please don't run up on me in public because I will sue you. No problem.
Wow.
Just playing. You know, literally, black people can't sue. Like they it's frowned upon in our community. You're not supposed to sue people.
Jed Wills. If you seen Jed Wills, if Jed Wills seen anything that y'all have ever said about him, he would say, none of y'all have played left tackle. Y'all don't know how hard it is.
That's not true. I played left tackle in second grade.
Okay, and what happened?
I got pancaked every play.
Playing left tackle is easy.
No, I'm saying that's what in his mindset. That's what he would say. Like y'all, who are y'all to say something about me? Y'all never played this position. This is how athletes think.
Have you not heard us have 35 minutes about Denzel Ward 2 seconds ago? I would tell him that. And we get on your boy G New. We done stripped JJ3 of his
Players
name.
Don't care when you compliment him. They only care when you
if we say the best thing.
A lot of athletes can't handle praise, but they take criticism to heart.
Right.
Because if you tell them they good and they start believing it, then you know start slipping. But if you criticize them, it's like now they got to prove something, which it really doesn't matter. Only people that matters is the guys in the room and the coaching staff. But
tell them, Tyvis, we get criticized more. Have they?
They criticize us in the chat and on Twitter, everything.
Twitter.
And to be honest with you, I'm open to it. I do. If you think you're gonna make me better, I'm open to your constructive criticism.
Multiple people just tell me they want me to have a heart attack. So
that's too far.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? People, that's part
somebody.
Part of the job is you're going to take shit from people.
You know what?
Yeah.
Somebody. So this is totally off subject, but the other day, Sherm had put on Instagram like his ultimate team card was on Madden. So me being the friend I am, I say, don't nobody want that card. So I get a bunch of his stands start to message me, and this guy says to me, he said, "That's why your daughter looked like Sid off of Ice Age."
You can't.
I laughed. I never laughed so hard, right?
Children
listen.
are off.
Oh my God!
Listen.
That's the lowest.
Listen,
are off the table.
so listen, instead of me getting mad, I died laughing because I thought it was hilarious.
What?
My wife was pissed.
Mortified.
She went back and comment back and everything. I'm like, what's the point of being mad at the dude we ain't gonna never meet?
He's that
Like, we ain't gonna never meet this
Your
dude.
daughters are beautiful.
Hilarious though.
I need to know. Like, so somebody said that I would want to go, like, you could hire me as a person that would say something controversial, but not as controversial as we want you to have a heart attack. Could I tell Bull to retort, I wish you would blindfold yourself and walk in traffic? Can you say that?
Why couldn't you?
One time
Why can't if they can say stuff to us, why wouldn't we be? But the thing is, I don't get what's the point. Because at the end of the day, if it get to that point, I'm gonna just say, drop your location. Let's settle it like that. Let's just give me your location.
One really, the only bad interaction I've ever had with a fan in person was this guy. He had called me and he was really nasty to me on the phone, and I said, "Well, tell your mom I said hi," or something like that, And he showed up at a remote broadcast, and he had a note for me that he had written, and he slammed it on the table and said, "Don't ever talk about my mother," and he stormed off. And it was a note. We wrote all these nasty things. It was hilarious.
My dad did that in traffic. He did it weird.
Forget all that. Drop your location, man. I'm not about to go back and forth with you on the internet. Drop your location.
All right, Mikey.
The Browns season is just a few short days away now, less than 3 weeks. And if you want the coolest gear, the swaggiest gear, the most up-to-date, hip, in-style gear on the market so you can look like Tyvis Powell when he goes out in public, you got to do your shopping at fanatics.com/UCSS. It is all the same phenomenal Browns gear you find on the main Fanatics site, but we get a little kickback, so help us help you look extra swaggy for the upcoming Browns season. G. Bush might be rocking some gear. I actually bought some from Fanatics using the code fanatics.com/UCSS. It was an unbelievable deal. Check them out at fanatics.com/UCSS. Next up in our list of 32 and 32, before we play a little game today, Bull, which I hope you enjoy, is a guy we spent a lot of time talking about yesterday. It's a guy that Tyvis thinks is completely irreplaceable in the scheme of the Browns season this year. And that is Elijah Moore. So, Tyvis, you can start us off here. What number is he? Number 11, Elijah Moore.
I gotta see where I had him.
I'm about to say, you got this written down of so Elijah Moore at 11. I mean, obviously he brings a different thing to this offense. Last year was pretty just Amari Cooper getting open and DPJ boxing people out. But now you got a guy who can bring a little bit of speed element, a guy who you can get the ball in his hands and he can make things happen. I think that was one of the things that the Browns wished that they had last year. If the offensive line can't hold up, we needed a guy that we could throw a screen to right now. He can make something happen, make guys miss. I think that was the one key element, and I addressed it by going to get this guy. I think he opens up another style of offense that Kevin Stefanski really been trying to get for a long time here. So that's why I say he's very important. The speed thing, he's going to win his routes. He's probably the fastest receiver we have. I don't know what his 40 time is, but I think it's pretty fast. And yeah, he's definitely, I think he might need to be a little bit lower on this list, to be completely honest with you.
Well, what's funny is, and Mike's not paying attention because he's busy with something right now. What's funny is you spent the other day talking about how he's the most important player on the offense.
He is.
And G and I were
No. That's not what I said. I said that if he goes down, this team is in trouble.
Yeah, right, okay. and we disagree with you, and yet you said he should be lower. I actually have on my list, I got Elijah Moore exactly at 11, same as these guys.
Who you got in front of?
Bingo.
Who's the 10?
10?
Who's 10?
For me?
Yeah.
Jim Schwartz.
He should be lower on that list. He should be like 1.
He should be like 4.
The only defensive players I have ahead of him are Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Dalvin Tomlinson. I have ahead of Schwartz.
If they can use,
so who else is under him? Who's 9?
Who's 9 for me?
Yeah.
I got Jedrick Wills. Not because he's any good, because the position is very important.
Okay, I see what you said.
It's not who are the best players.
What's the list? What is this list?
It's
32.
most important.
It's the most important players for the most important people because it involves coaches.
Jedrick Wills, the left tackle. That's important.
Maybe he should be lower there because you know this season will be a disaster if he's not good.
Who?
Jedrick Wills.
No, we'll just take him right on out.
We had that whole conversation.
And with who?
We put DeJuan Jones right on in.
They said he looks terrible at left tackle.
The season's only a disaster.
He's only had 10 reps.
Tyvus, come on now.
So let me get this right. Hold on, I gotta put the phone down.
The only player at season's a disaster is Deshaun Watson.
You don't even know.
He's not good.
Listen.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you willing to take DeJuan Jones from right tackle and put him at left tackle when you just drafted this kid in the first round and took him from right tackle and put him at left tackle and you see what it turned into?
I don't think he was that good to start with. I never thought he was good as a right tackle. Like he was
all I'm telling you is
a reach at 10.
All I'm telling you is with a season going on, to make a tackle switch in the middle of a season,
yeah, they're not gonna do that.
That's a disaster.
Hold on, let me tell you.
Instead, forget what I said. 14-3. We looking at 5 and 12.
The only middle I see with Jedrick Wills is when he's stopping in the middle of a play.
Yeah,
he's getting come on, I'm literally seeing him every stop. He's getting beat. Oh, I'm gonna stop. To me, I know people don't want to take in consideration that sometimes there are upgrades readily available for you, or you're just not that good.
Well, this is
But Thomas, the bottom line is the great quarterback's going to overcome bad O-line play.
That's fine to say, not that left tackle spot, but what I'm trying to tell you
is,
is
a crappy left tackle for 3 years.
Who?
Jonah Williams.
They did go to the Super Bowl with
a terrible offensive line.
Listen.
Hey, look, Jedrick Wills to me.
Listen.
Jedrick Wills not any worse than Jonah Williams.
No.
What I'm saying to you is, I wouldn't. They didn't try to switch a right tackle to left tackle during this. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell him.
I agree with you.
He talking about take DeJuan Jones and put him over there. I'm like, the season start next week.
Hey, watch this. This is funny.
Or in 2 weeks.
Watch this. If Jedrick Wills, God forbid, goes out on risk of injuries on nobody.
Who is the backup left tackle?
Hudson ain't playing over DeJuan Jones.
Yes, he is.
I guarantee.
Yes, he is.
I guarantee DeJuan Jones will play over Hubbard.
Look. What's the bet?
Y'all see this right now? You are insane. If you think that you must be crazy. If you think you about to try to.
And Hubbard be getting touched too.
No.
Hudson get touched too.
I'll take that bet today.
All right. What's the bet though? What's on the line here? Anything?
Oh, I'll bet Tyvus a Cleveland Indians hat, Guardians hat.
He's got a lot of them.
He got a lot of them.
Well,
he can get a new
my new thing is that when I win, we might not ever find out. God forbid Jed Wills go down. But when I win and Hudson come trotting out there, I only wear this style now. I only wear just the plain this hat. So.
All right.
What you mean? You just want another blue hat with a C on it?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
But I want it embroidered. You see how I got this? This was
funny.
this
I thought
is
that was black.
This is personally embroidered. So it don't have to say the land. It got to say something. I wanted to say 23. My jersey number.
I'll put Sauce Daddy on there.
Pause. What is wrong with this man? This man is out of pocket.
On that note, I gotta take that.
We got a game to play here.
What is going on?
G. Bush, that was the most out of pocket thing I've said in a long, long time. This is the last break of the day, guys, and I want to remind everybody that at about 3 o'clock, give or take 3 o'clock, we're doing our next Behind the Glass podcast.
It was so bad, I was speechless.
We'll dissect what G may have meant by that. Actually, we are not going to talk about whatever G meant by that because, frankly, I don't want to get in G's mind to know what he's thinking about when he thinks of Tyvus and Sauce Daddy. So we're going to move on from that completely and talk about the midfield logo of the Cleveland Browns for the upcoming football season here, guys. The Browns have announced the 2 finalists. Anthony, it's in tagboard. You have the fan-submitted dog logo. You have the elf from last year. If you had to pick, which one do you like?
Do I have to pick?
Yeah, you got to pick. You know, Jason Lloyd was here. You know what he would say, so you got to pick.
Yeah.
For all the people that don't give a, what.
As a representative of the people that don't really care, I will say I'm all in with the dog. We tried the elf last year.
It didn't.
I was positive about it. It was a bad season. I'm going to blame the elf. The elf really has nothing to do with the Browns. He's not very manly looking. He looks kind of wimpy. Now that I think about it, the dog looks badass. He looks like the Predator. He's got the Predator jowls there. Let's go with the dog.
I like the dog. I like the dog. I think it looks a little more intimidating. I'm gonna go with the dog. And plus, I hope they do like a 32 on the field too.
Yeah.
A little Jim Brown action at the 35 or something. And then what I want is the cursive Browns. It's a cursive Browns in the end zone with the white outline. Also on the right hand side, AFC with the 3 stars on each side. So if you notice, we got a whole graffiti bridge on the Browns. And you know what the crazy part about it is? Most Browns fans are super conservative. For years we played with nothing in the field, no cheerleaders, no band, nothing in the end zone, and dirt infield.
We should have cheerleaders, man.
Would you rather cheerleaders or a band?
Cheerleaders.
That's crazy. We don't got cheerleaders. Have you ever noticed that?
I never noticed that.
Never noticed that, right?
Uh-uh.
No cheerleaders, no band.
I think there's 3 teams in the league that don't have cheerleaders. The Giants don't have cheerleaders, and I think there's one more.
That's crazy to not
I'll
have
confirm.
cheerleaders.
Hold on.
Why did you not have cheerleaders?
The Browns, listen, when they came back, they was like, we don't want no good-looking girls on the sideline.
The Browns should take. Honestly, the Browns should go a step further because they've been bad not having cheerleaders for all these years. They should just have strippers out there. They should have like a stripper pole.
What is wrong with you?
Let's have strippers.
I know he's going there.
I don't want cheerleaders. That's nothing. Let's get taken another level.
You'd be like, you bring your kids there, they're like, why are they losing clothing every quarter? Like, what's going on here? They started off with a warm-up.
That man back in the 60s.
You know what the funniest thing about that is? That there are people at home right now appalled that I said they should have strippers. And those same people are getting hammered at the game and cursing like banshees and saying inappropriate things in front of their kids. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
And yet they're offended by a woman's body.
And then I'd be always guessing. I'm like, how did you already end up here drunk? If you're at the Muni lot and you're drunk at 6, that means you drove there, dog.
That's right.
Bull tried to. He think this is. What do you think this is? The
math.
Replacements?
And nobody.
Great movie.
They would have got
great
strippers
movie.
on their cheerleaders.
See, this is what happens to me, Nuggets. When
Dude,
you put
what's
this
his
stuff
name?
on.
Who's a big director? The guy who does all the things with Vince Vaughn. What's his name?
Judd Apatow?
No. God damn it. What's his name? The guy who directed all the Iron Man movies. Jon Favreau. He was in that movie. He was jacked in that movie. He played the linebacker who was a cop, like the linebacker.
Yeah. Danny.
That's a great movie, man. Danny,
Go get the ball, Danny. I got you the ball.
Gene Hackman was the coach.
By the way, 7 teams don't have cheerleaders. I was wrong. 7.
That's
The
embarrassing.
Bills, the Bears, the Browns, the Giants, the Jets, the Chargers.
The
and
Jets
Steelers.
ain't got cheerleaders
How
no
do the
more.
Chargers not have?
That's
How
a
do the
lie.
New York teams
That's
not
a
have
lie
cheerleaders?
because when I played for the Jets for the week, I actually went and seen the cheerleaders.
I'm
Just because I was browsing
Maybe
the
they
building.
got rid of them for some reason.
They must have because they literally had
That's
cheerleaders.
a failure. It's a failure by my current city, a failure by my past city.
This article's from July 4th this season.
And who's the
This year,
17th?
2023.
This must have happened during. This was
the
the
last one you-
pandemic budget cuts.
What do you say?
Who's the last one you said there?
The last one I said was the Steelers, and the Packers don't have their own cheerleading squad, but they bring in collegiate squads.
That's
to cheer.
embarrassing. By the way, all those teams are cold weather cities except for the Chargers.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
LA makes no sense. If you want to tell me it's too cold late in the season for cheerleaders, whatever.
You said the Rams. You said the Rams don't.
No, the Rams do.
Chargers,
Oh.
LA
Chargers don't.
We forget they're in LA.
Well, that's because it's a.
Every college had. Think about it.
When did
every
this
college
must be
has
new.
cheerleaders.
This must have happened during the pandemic budget cuts. I'm telling you.
Nah,
They don't
Browns
pay
ain't-
those cheerleaders anything anyway. They rip them off.
Yeah, Browns.
Ridiculous.
Browns.
Can I get to my answer for the logo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry. I care more about strippers than I do about
Yeah,
the logo.
you know where we going.
My answer is simple. First of all, they're lying because there's no way that a bunch of people submitted designs and this was the top 2. That's first of all. I need to get that out there. I don't know who you think you fooling.
What was the other? What was the choice that didn't get put up? The helmet.
Something. Oh, so it wasn't like fans design and submit?
No. The fans design. The fans design and submit was the dog, right? The elf.
No, I'm talking. Years. So they didn't go like, cause like a couple years, like I swear they was like, this is one of these is gonna be on the field, and a bunch of people submitted designs and stuff.
No, but
that wasn't for the field. That was just the dog.
That was just the dog.
Okay.
So now that they have the dog, they gonna say which one you want to put the dog or the elf on there.
First of all, I would have did the dog or the helmet. The elf. Yeah, the elves. That's dead. And it's got to be the dog out of these two options because I mean it's the dog pound. You're supposed to be some dogs this year. Hopefully that changes the mentality of this team. See, I liked the elf last year because it showed them running the ball and stiff arming, which I thought we was going to be a heavy run team. Somehow that did not happen. So I don't want to do false advertisement anymore and just go with the dog.
And the Browns, what y'all got to start doing is if y'all got to bring back the freak show, which is the dog pound. To bring back the freak show, you got to have guys that are dressing up in costumes, and they got to be in the same section. You section it off so that people see it on TV. When they see it on TV, that means they'll want to come and do it. So then you say, all right, we're going to section it off. This is the dog pound. If you are sitting in a dog pound, you got to have a costume on. You got to have an outfit.
I hate that the Haslams refer to the dog pound as the whole stadium now.
No. That's totally not it. That's not it.
By the way, our EP Steve Becker he is beyond lost in the soup. He thinks that. What's his name?
Elijah Moore.
I was gonna point this out.
He's correct.
Thinks should be number 3 on the Browns 32 for 32.
He's not wrong. It's a reason.
You think it's the third most important
It's a reason why Steve is the executive producer because he just knows ball.
All right, he don't know shit. All right. Now let me tell you something. No offense, Steve. A guy who's never had 500 yards in the NFL, you're going to tell me he's the third most important player on the Browns. Third most important person on the Browns. I felt like a lunatic putting him at 11. 3 is insane. That is batshit crazy.
It's not crazy.
The third most important person on the roster is a guy who's never had 500 yards in the league.
He's probably going to be one of the most productive players on the team this year.
There's a big difference between being a productive player.
How's he not valuable?
The third most important.
How's he not valuable?
The third most important player? What?
Let me ask you this. And here's the reason people get it twisted. Tyvus know this.
He has him ahead of Myles Garrett.
Okay, he might be wrong.
He has him ahead of Myles Garrett.
He's not third, he's fourth.
Tyvus know this.
He's fourth.
And
when you playing receiver, we got what we call a big homie. Now, what is a big homie?
Oh my
Jalen Waddle was good. But the fact that Tyreek Hill runs faster than him and can just run straight past 2 defenders makes Jalen Waddle a little more easy. The big homie is Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper is not on this roster, Elijah Moore's getting locked up.
100%.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Like he's getting locked all the way down.
You know that better than anybody.
He know he's getting locked down like that.
This is what I will say.
That was a nice pivot. This is what I will say.
Yeah. There are other ways.
Yeah.
You can get Elijah Moore the ball more than you can do it with Amari Cooper. See, Amari Cooper's only good for running routes. Elijah Moore, you can hand it to him. You can throw him a screen. He can run routes.
9 rushing plays for 42 yards he's going to have this year. That makes him the third most
What I'm saying is you can get him involved in the offense much more than you can on Amari Cooper.
Okay, you can get Anthony Schwartz more involved in the offense too.
You can get Demetrius Felton in there.
Yeah.
You put him in running back and throwing the ball.
That's not true.
Yeah.
They're
hand him the ball.
They're one-trick ponies.
Oh, really? I've seen Demetrius Felton
because when
I've seen Demetrius Felton catch a touchdown pass.
A screen?
That's all Elijah Moore gonna get. Yeah, like he's gonna be back there throwing passes.
Then I guess Taysom Hill is more valuable than a healthy Michael Thomas, right?
Yes. Yep.
Taysom Hill.
Stop. He plays all positions.
Stop.
He'll play any of them good.
What is his contract? Didn't he hit for like a crazy? Didn't he hit for a crazy deal?
Some white dude who's not even fast.
No, I thought it was more today.
How did he become this utility player? Some random white dude he's not even fast.
So what happened was this. He came in as a quarterback,
Yeah,
and
he's not any good at that.
obviously Drew Brees was the guy.
Yeah.
So he knew that he wasn't going to be as great as the quarterback. So what did he do? He started playing special
But
teams.
he's not good at any of these things.
He started playing special teams.
Yeah.
So now when it came to the roster, it's like, well, we got to keep the guy because he give us special
They
teams
paid him a
value.
ton of money.
I know. Look.
Crazy.
That's why.
And wait, y'all telling me y'all could give Taysom Hill all this money, but you couldn't give me $3 million? I wouldn't even try to break the bank. Just give me $3 million. Gosh.
Go ahead,
I'm
Mike.
just giving it away.
Got game time now?
It is
I didn't
time
hear
for a
what you
game.
said.
It's time for a game. We haven't done this before. We're gonna try it. It may work. It may not. But that's the beauty of this show is we try stuff, and I think this is this is gonna be fun. I have 12 of these, by the way.
All
and
right.
if we
We'll
run
do
out of
rapid
time,
fire. Let me just say that Steve Becker, REB, is the most biased Browns fan who's not a Browns fan I've ever met in my
How's
life.
he biased?
Some of the stuff he texts, he's like great. The way he talks about the Browns roster, you think they have the greatest roster in the history of the
well, I
NFL.
mean, he has a direct line of communication to the main
Juggernaut.
providers of Browns Kool-Aid in the entire city.
yeah,
Yeah, he's drinking the
Are
Kool-Aid.
you reading Steve's messages, man? He's hilarious. Steve, the executive Steve is hilarious, man.
All right, let's go.
Ooh-wee.
Nice kiss, nice ass kiss. There,
All right, so the next game, you guys have all heard of word association. I'm going to
Yeah.
give you a word, you'll react to it. If we have enough time at the end, I've recruited my guy Jack. Jack's going to throw out some words at the very end if we have time. So
Okay.
I have 12 of these, 4 for each of you.
First thing we think of.
And it's going to start like this.
Oh, we don't all get to say the answers to each?
No, you each get different ones.
That's,
Man.
We could all do this if we all want to do the same.
So the first thing that come to
I
my
think we should just say
mind.
the first word we all think of when you say a word for all of them.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Ranch dressing.
Disgusting.
Pizza.
Oh, God.
Versatile.
He upset.
Versatile.
He upset. Ranch and pizza. What? It's the first thing that came to my mind.
I do dip my
Never eaten
pepperoni
good
rolls.
pizza if you have to.
I do. I be putting my pepperoni rolls in there. The Totino's boys.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah, pizza rolls in that creamy ranch.
That's killing me right now. All right, number 2, Mike.
I had Elijah Moore, but I'm scared to ask that now.
MVP.
All right, go ahead. Oh, Elijah Moore?
MVP.
Yeah, Elijah Moore. We'll do Elijah Moore.
Guy.
Gadget.
That's
Kevin
disrespectful.
Gadget is.
You said what was the next one?
Kevin Stefanski.
Boring.
Milk toast.
Great play caller.
Miller Lite.
Disgusting.
Less filling.
Great taste.
Taylor Swift.
Swifty.
Hot.
Medium sauce.
Medium sauce.
Cheddar
Oh, the
cheese.
Swifties are going after you now.
Swifties.
I mean, she's just medium to me, man.
I'm with you. I don't, you know.
I mean, she's
She all right. She's all right.
I would make her my friend. Like,
Yeah.
and then like she
Be the friend zone.
yeah, and then she'll come over for sleepovers or whatever, and then I'll get like
She comes over.
like, but she'll be friends with my wife and stuff, and then like it'll just be like we cool. She'll tell me about the guys
Oh, my
and stuff. So.
God, that's great. Go ahead, Mike.
Tua Tagliafico.
You can't even say his name.
Tongue of a
Concussion.
Tua.
I was gonna say that too. Can't stay healthy.
Man, up and down.
Roger Goodell.
Dick.
Fraud.
Devious.
Jim Harbaugh.
Dick.
Khakis.
But why do you think of dicks when you hear a lot of guys' names?
I don't know. Pause.
I could care less.
You couldn't care less. You care so little. You couldn't care less.
He's been winning, so he's
Yeah.
beating OSU.
Overcooked chicken.
Disgusting.
Sin.
Easy to do. A lot of people out there talk about overcooked chicken. Your chicken be dry as hell.
Sin.
Dry as these monologues that
You-
Jim Tressel be having.
You can never cook chicken. You can never cook again. If you do that, you ruin the whole thing.
But undercooked chicken put people in the hospital.
gross.
That's true too. You better
gotta find that
get
sweet
you
spot.
better get you a thermometer like everybody else and poke the thing and figure it
And
out.
don't be telling me what you marinated in. I marinated this in dragon's blood, G. Bush. This is a Targaryen chicken sandwich. Get out of here.
Shout out Game of Thrones.
Shout out Game, you know what I'm saying? House of Dragons coming back.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Season 2. Yeah.
Right
Jim
around the
Schwartz.
What?
Jim Schwartz.
Difference maker.
Badass.
Not playing games.
Joe Woods.
Soft.
Misunderstood.
Unqualified.
Andy Dalton.
Redhead.
Good backup. What a random guy to bring
That
up.
was a random name.
Steady.
Steady.
Yeah, steady. You know. He's a dude. He's a dude you bring in like he's one of the guys who be like, hey man, our starting quarterback hurt this week. You be like, oh man, who they gonna bring in? Oh, Andy Dalton. Oh man, we get 14 points, 17. He get 17.
Who is he on a roster?
Yeah, he beat our ass.
He's on the
last year.
Panthers.
He's with the
backup to Bryce
Panthers.
Young.
Why you gotta bring up us? I like that.
Beat us, touched us up.
Who was that?
Denzel Washington.
My father.
For some reason, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
You said Washington.
Denzel Washington.
My father.
Denzel, the best, the GOAT.
My father.
Chest.
You said the GOAT Bowl?
He's the GOAT of actors to me.
Who else on your Mount Rushmore?
Oh my God, I forgot his name. He's on my Mount Rushmore. I can't
Robert
think of his
Downey Jr.
name. No. John Cusack, underrated actor.
Sylvester Stallone.
I love
Will
Stallone.
Smith.
No, not Will Smith. Forrest Whitaker.
He's good.
Samuel Jackson.
I love Samuel Jackson.
He can't put 3 black dudes on the list.
Why can't he?
put him up
You
there.
can't put 3 black guys on the list.
Why can't you?
You gotta break it up.
My
Yeah.
whole list was black.
And my fourth person is a woman, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was that I really love.
I got
coming
3
right now.
more, then I'm going to pass it
Okay.
over to Jack, who's got a couple.
Okay.
Earl the Pearl.
Up and
Donovan
coming.
Mitchell.
Up and coming.
Militant.
Donovan Mitchell, first thing I
Up
think
and
of.
coming.
LeBron James.
Stud.
Goat.
Here you go.
Anthony Schwartz.
Garbage.
He's a nice kid. He's a nice kid, man.
Fast.
All right, I'm going to turn the camera over. This is Jack,
disrespectful. He a nice kid.
and Jack's got a couple for us here. Jack, hit the button, talking to the camera, at the mic, and you can fire a few at him.
Mine is more either or, but
We could do that.
MGD or Miller High Life.
Say that again. What was the first one?
Miller Genuine Draft
Or High Life.
or High Life.
I'm
Not a
unqualified.
big. I don't really. I drink beer.
I'm unqualified.
Period.
I'm
Tyvus
more.
doesn't drink at all.
Yeah.
I don't drink much.
Listen, I can't tell the difference between beers, to be truthful. I was a natty light dude. I could drink Fat Tire. I could drink, I don't know, all kind of other stuff. But I will give you the High Life. I've never really
Yeah.
liked the High Life after the High Life guy died.
I like Bud Light,
Give me MGD.
Bud Light and Corona and Labatt Blue. Those are my favorite.
Really?
But I don't really drink very often.
I like Minute Maid lemonade and Simply lemonade.
Yeah, Tyvus
I like a
don't-
pink lemonade.
Tyvus don't drink. Man, he like my parents, man. Y'all, yeah, you just.
I don't drink
And
either.
You don't drink either.
Sometimes
Rarely,
I
right?
drink
Yeah.
ginger ale, Seagram's though.
He's got
Seagram's
good reason
ginger
not
ale.
to drink, so I respect that.
I'm gonna catch y'all slipping.
All right, what's next, Jack?
All right, billboard or TV commercial?
TV commercial.
I hate commercials.
TV commercial. You're not supposed to say that.
I do, but I skip a lot of them.
I
I like billboards. I like billboards because I thought about
Wrong
trying-
answer, G.
I want a billboard.
You
Bill-
got one more, Jack?
Yeah, billboard.
Yeah, all right.
All right, Browns fan best, East, West, or all the rest? Pick one of the 3.
So Browns fans from the east side, the west side, or the other places. I'm gonna go to other places because you know why?
East side.
I'm gonna go to other places because there's Browns backers. Shout out to the Browns backers in Hawaii, my people out there. I see you in Maui, a lot of stuff going on. Shout out to the Browns backers, people out there. Browns backers, shout out to my Browns backers in Ireland and the Browns backers in Finland. They all big supporters of the barbershop. I appreciate y'all out here.
East
And
side.
in India, we got a guy from India.
India's in the building.
I'm gonna go West Side, even though I think it's equal. I live on the West Side.
It's
so I
the
gotta go
east
West
side.
Go
It's not
East
even
Side.
close. And G should be ashamed of himself.
Well, he's not from the east side.
I ain't from nowhere.
That's true. He ain't.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. You guys got any more?
Last one, Jack.
Yeah, a lesser utilized food to put hot sauce on.
Well, that's a good question.
Ooh, that's a great
A
one. Lesser utilized. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like,
Shrimp.
You put
Okay,
hot
that's
sauce on shrimp?
Yeah.
I like the hot cocktail sauce.
hot sauce on collard greens. Hot sauce,
That's you got to do that.
hot sauce on potato chips.
That's fire.
Potato chip.
That's
hot sauce
fire.
on
I used to
potato
do that
chips.
as a kid.
Really?
That's the family barbecue trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
You got to know that.
I used to put them on sardines.
That's our version of barbecue. Like, you put them joints on, like
You never put hot sauce on chips?
it's crazy.
Never even thought to
You
do
got
it.
to get the plain
Plain.
Lay's or the wavy or something
Yeah,
and get some hot sauce.
And then get 50%.
Man, what?
I was just that's so crazy. He showed up. I would call myself now. I've been trying to do intermittent fasting, but it didn't work.
Oh, I'm doing that now.
It
11
didn't
to
work.
6.
I got. It was like 12:05.
You
I was hungry.
You just got to go to. What was your time?
Man, my time was supposed to be 7, but I kicked it back to 9. And then I got hungry at 12:05, and I got these chips. So I had some. I had some 50% wavy, less sodium wavy Lay's with some hot sauce on them, and I got busy. And I was getting busier and busier, and I said, "Bro, you gotta stop, bro."
I tell you what, last night my fasting guy called. Oh my goodness! I ate my last bite of food at 6 o'clock.
Ooh, that's hard.
And
bro.
I had to go upstairs at 9 o'clock and lay down because I was hungry and I was really gonna be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Bleep it! I'm about to go get something to eat.
it's so
By the
hard.
way, I have obviously not had a lot of luck with diets, especially in recent years. However, the one thing that did work for me, at least for a little while, when I was trying not to eat at night, was as soon as I finished my last meal, immediately brush my teeth.
I tried that,
Yeah.
and
That
I tried
worked?
to lay it down.
It helped. It did help.
I would try, but I'm telling you, last night I had to go lay down because I was like, if I stay around these snacks, I'm just gonna do it.
I would brush my teeth and then go watch TV in bed.
And man, listen, my wife ain't no good, bro. She just she be just, babe, you look real hungry around the face. Why does my face look hungry? Stop cooking me something. I'm trying to do right by myself, and you keep coming down here with these delicious meals. It's all your fault.
All right, 3 more.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The worst. Hate.
I hate them too.
I hate them so bad. I don't even wear gold and black Jordans. I refuse to wear any. I don't have gold.
Oh, gold is yellow.
Black and yellow, I don't like them colors. I hate them, and I hate the fact that everybody in their city got the same colors.
They do.
It's terrible, man. I hate them.
The Pirates.
It is kind of cool that they do that.
It's
though.
kind of sweet.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Really
you got to
sweet.
give them credit for that.
Pirates, the Penguins.
It
We
is
have
kind of
3
sweet.
different color sets here.
Yeah, we do. Don't worry that.
All right, next. Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Yinzers.
I got a best friend and she's one, and she be swinging that towel, and cocky, just cocky.
My oldest friend is a Steeler fan. He's not a dick, but every other Steeler fan I met is the worst.
They're the worst fans of all time. There's a lot of them in our state boundaries. And here's what I always say, man. If you ain't going to the games, I don't respect you. And you can't be no 49ers fan and be in Ohio unless you from San Francisco. But
What do you got to say to me? I grew up in towns that were not my home teams.
You can't. Do you go to the games?
I haven't been to a lot of Bengals games. I don't like going to football.
You went to Cubs games,
A lot of Cubs games, yeah.
so you go to them. So that means you pay to
In fact,
play.
I'm going to a Cubs game. I'm actually going to Pittsburgh this Sunday to see the Cubs and Pirates.
Look, see, pay to play. If you're not willing to pay to see your out of town teams, you're lame.
By the way, I am going to Cincinnati to see the Bengals for the first time this year.
That's crazy.
I haven't gotten the tickets yet, but Aaron's been begging me to go. So I think we're going to go October 15th against, I can't remember who they're playing that day.
We got 2 more real quick.
Anyway, go
Baker
ahead.
Mayfield.
Yeah. What's that?
Baker.
Bum.
Career backup.
Not fair, though.
Feeling
He's
dangerous.
a serviceable quarterback.
And last but not least, before we wrap up, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
The best, most fun thing of all time.
Transcendent.
I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Happy to be this guy.
All right, what are we talking about on overtime, Miguel?
That's such a good question that I can't tell y'all till we're there. I don't want to give it away.
A surprise topic coming up in overtime. Good job by Anthony directing for the first
Director
time.
Anthony killed it today.
I
Shout
don't
out
think
to
he made
Anthony.
any mistakes, did he?
One minor camera movement, but other than that, he absolutely
All right,
crushed
there was
it.
nothing that was obvious to us.
Nothing obvious.
No.
Good
DA
job. I was expecting
dominated.
a disaster, but didn't happen.